What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. We have some people in here. When y'all come on in, like the video, we have a lot to discuss. And I was just on doing my pre-show on Station Head, where we listen to music, new hot records, and we do all type of stuff over there on Station Head. And I rant and vent to the people. We also were talking about. I was listening to Sweetie song, and she said something about the P word. I was listening to that record, and I'm like, wow, that record was quite rough. I'm definitely living for her EP. I'm loving it. It's the best, and she definitely have what it takes to compete with Nicki Minaj. And I've always said Sweetie is up next. It's just something with her style. I love her style, and she's beautiful, by the way. Like, she could talk about a phone or a cell phone or a computer, and I will listen to it. She's just everything. I love her music. Her music is off the chain. I love her as an artist. Did y'all see Sweet? Did y'all hear her music? We played it over there on the pre-show, so make sure you download Station Ed. You could definitely get it. It's just definitely a good artist. And I was in there and I was listening to her. I was like, okay, Sweetie, she definitely got what it takes to compete with Beyonce, and it got what it takes to compete with Nicki Minaj. I said it. She got what it takes. It's just something with her style, and she's beautiful, by the way. She's beautiful, by the way. Like, some black women don't like her because she's light skinned and she's beautiful, and they get kind of turned off. But her music is dope. Like, her EP is off the chain. Like, it's off the chain. I'm loving her EP. I was listening to it. We're gonna listen to it again for the after show. After this show, we're gonna listen to a couple more of her records. I'm definitely loving it. And it's something about it, like her beauty. Like, she is like, and she's single, and I don't have the money yet to date her, but one day I will. And listening to her music and listening to her style, like, I can really tell she writes so well, like Nicki Minaj, and she writes so well, like, Lauryn Hill, like Foxy Brown, Lil Kim. Like, she's up there with those people. Cardi B, she's up there with those people because her pen game. I don't think people can really amount to Sweetie's style, or Sweetie, her writing skills, definitely the best. And she's definitely doing great in her business deals with the McDonald's. Getting the Sweetie meal was off the chain. I loving it, and it was just a good record. That y'all like that way? It's just really great. And so when I was listening to it, I'm like, this woman have what it takes to be on the throne. Whenever Nicki Minaj retired from music, it's definitely going to be Sweetie, because Sweetie is up next. She is extremely talented. I was listening to her EP. I love her EP, and I give it 2 thumbs up. And if I had my last $5 or $10, I would purchase Sweetie EP. Like, I listen to it on Apple because I'm a paying customer. But after the show, I'm going on iTunes, and I'm going to purchase the record. I'm going on iTunes. I'm definitely going to purchase the record because I feel like she is up next. Sweetie is up next. And if people don't understand that, I'm telling you right now, she's definitely up next. And this is one thing I like about Sweetie, because I believe that she have what it takes to be a submissive woman. It really didn't work out because I know she had put a diss record towards Quavo and put a diss record towards him. And I really love. I just love her as well. She's just an amazing performer. I love her. And I know a lot of people is going to sit here and say they don't like her. She's not that great. She is this. She is that. Because a lot of people think that she can't be anyway. Like, oh, she didn't shave Quavo. I'm talking about she shaved Lil Baby, and I don't know why Lil Baby tried it with Sweetie, knowing that you took her to the store and you bought her all this expensive stuff, and that's definitely dope. Like, one thing about Sweetie, once she give you a piece of that punani, man, go crazy. And one thing I like about Sweetie, she's not beefing with the Nickies, she's not beefing with the Cardi, she's not beefing with any of these other rappers. She's definitely beefing with male rappers, and that's what I respect her, because she's in a beef with the male rappers. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she's not beefing with the Nicki Minaj, the Cardis, the Ericas, the Lottos. She's beefing with male rappers, and you have nothing but to respect that. And Lil Baby tried to trash her in the industry, and Sweetie is just holding her own. That's what I like about her. Like I really, really like that about her. And she's nominated. I don't know. No, she's not nominated. I'm getting beside myself. One day she will be nominated for a Grammy. But I'm really loving it. And I'm loving the style. I'm loving that part about her. Would I necessarily date Sweetie? I don't know. Because I don't know really if she a submissive woman. I don't know. She got into a fight. And usually, typically, submissive women don't fight with men. They allow the man to dominate their relationship. So I don't necessarily believe that she is submissive woman at all. I feel like she got all that money and all that clout. I don't think she would be submissive. So I don't think me and her would work in a relationship because she's not submissive, but she's beautiful. So I still would tap that in the aspect of, okay, I'm gonna still, I would still be interested in tapping that. But actually walking down the aisle with her and marrying her, I don't necessarily see myself marrying her because she's not a submissive woman. She's more got that masculine energy, but she's beautiful, by the way. But she got that masculine energy. She will fight back. She not gonna cook you no food. She definitely gonna make sure you cook her some food and all of that. So I definitely not gonna be the type of person. I'll tap that and leave it, leave it where it at. But I won't necessarily walk down the aisle and marry her at all. Definitely not gonna do that. Most definitely, because she's not gonna give me that. What I look for in sustained relationship, what I look for is a submissive woman. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's something that she's not. I don't think so. Do y'all think she's submissive? No, I'm not. I'm not sure. I'm just giving my right. She will run right. Yeah, she will run. She will try to run over me, and I'm not going to allow that because I'm not going to allow no woman. Let me say this, okay? And I'm getting my money up right because I got to get my money up right for to date somebody like Sweetie. But let's just say if I was with Sweetie, she can't run over me because we were class. I'm a masculine man. I'm an alpha man, and I'm not going to allow a woman, especially a woman, to run over me. I think that's a pathetic. I think that any man that allow a woman to control them or run over them, you're not considered a good man. You're not even considered a man because a man's supposed to rule the woman, supposed to be the head of the woman, not the other way around. So a woman should not be dictating you, telling you do this and do that, and you just hopping and skipping for her. No, not at all. The man's supposed to give the order of the household. The man is supposed to have the direction. The man's supposed to do that, not the woman. So if you are a type of man where you listen to your wife, anything your wife tell you to do, you hit hop, skip, and jump, and she just pretty much tell you what to do and you do it. I don't necessarily look at you as a man. I look at you as a ploy. I look at you as a plant. I look at you as just a child because no man's supposed to be controlled by a woman. That's not the order of God. The order of God is for the man to be the head of the woman. Now I didn't make the order. If you mad at the order, you got to take that up to the creator. I'm just giving you my opinion as a man. I believe that man is put here to be the head of the woman. Men are put here to provide for their family. Men are put here to bring the money home. Men are put here to put food on the table. Men are put here to be great fathers and great components in their community. That's what men are put here for. And if you're not that type of man, you don't need to be with a woman, period. And a woman don't need to waste their time with a man like you if you're not doing those components. Because in order for you to get a submissive woman, in order for you to have a submissive woman, you must have those qualities of being a good man, in my humble opinion. Okay? In my humble opinion, if you don't have those qualities, you're not a good man. Mm-hmm. And for all the people that say next topic, I'll get to the next topic when I feel like it. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. This is y'all be trying it in these comments. Talk about next topic. No, I'm gonna get there when I get there. Okay. All right. We talking about Sweetie. Last time I checked, this the Wiley Show. I thought last time I checked, it ain't the next topic show. All right. That's like last time I checked. If you say please move on, I'll stay on the topic about another hour. That made me no difference. Because last time I checked, this is the Wiley Show. I come up with the topics, and then when I'm done talking, y'all don't call in. So how dare you say next topic? I know y'all the producers, but some of y'all ain't really been producing. All right, okay. But yeah, that's what I was saying about Sweetie. Back to Sweetie. I think that she's an incredible rapper, and I love that about her. And a lot of people need to understand that. I know y'all are the producers, but right in and there. Okay, I hear y'all, but we stand on this topic because I'm feeling the spirit. I'm gonna stay on this topic. I'm gonna stay on this topic a little bit longer. Okay. Because you can't put me in the chat and talk about some next topic. Then when we get to the callers, don't call in. But I could have stayed on that one subject for another 30 minutes, and then I get emails. Let me say this really quickly. Hold on. Mhm. I get emails. Wiley, your show was so short, but y'all keep saying next topic. Don't rush me. The show gonna be prolonged when you let me be me. Thank you so very much. Okay. That's the problem. See, that's the problem because it's a lot of people are not used to having a man having direction. A lot of people, when it comes to with women, with some of their men, they dictate to their man, talking about hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Don't rush me. Because when you rush me, I'm gonna move even slower. That's just me. Don't rush me. If you don't like the topic, just be in the bushes and wait. All right, because we got a full show. But I was led by the spirit to talk about Sweetie. Now let me leave Sweetie a voice note. Let me see where's Sweetie at. Do we have Sweetie as a voice note? Okay. Let me see if Sweetie got a. Let me see if I can leave for a voice note. Because there's something about I want to interview Sweetie. I really do, and I'm gonna leave her a voice note, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. But I definitely gotta leave her a voice note because there's something about Sweetie that I like about her, and she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful, and I love her. I'm gonna leave her a voice note because there's something about her that I want to leave her a voice note. Give me a second. If I can find, okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Hold on, because we're gonna leave. We definitely gonna leave her a voice note. We live, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you can. All right. Hey, sweetie, this is Wiley from the Wiley Show. I'm loving your EP. I would love for you to come on the Wiley Show to talk about your story. That's one thing I love that you talked about your body, talk about the P word, all of that. I love the women empowerment. One thing about women, women should be empowered to talk about their body and all their body parts. So whenever you're free, I would love to have you on the Wiley Show. I would love to have a sit down interview with you because you are definitely great and you're single. I don't have enough money to date you, so I'm not even going to try to shoot my shot. But I will say I'm going to shoot my shot with this. I would love to have a sit down interview with you. Anytime you're free, I'm available. Thank you. And you keep on making them hot records because you have what it takes to be the new Nicki Minaj. Peace and blessings to you. All right. I left her a voice note. Now, I don't know if she gonna block me or not. I left her a voice note. I don't know if she gonna block me because I left her a voice note. She don't have me blocked. So I left her that voice note. All right, we're gonna move on to next time. We got a whole full show. Want to open up? Let's open up with our president, our former president of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump, is officially back on Twitter. Elon Musk, the CEO, the new owner of Twitter, announced that President Donald Trump's Twitter account has been restored. And I followed him on Twitter and I said something on Twitter. Let me see the tweet that I said on Twitter. I just tweeted Donald Trump, and I said, I'm glad Donald Trump is back on Twitter. He's very entertaining. I'm super excited for that. And one thing about when I was really a Trump fan, I was a fan of his Twitter. Like, the man would go off. He was calling people fake news. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. Like, I'm really, really, really here for it. He had white folks that have been fearing black people, all the time and feeling, fearing that black power and all of that. Then he had got all these white people to go to the Capitol and just really, really turn it up. And I love that about Trump because he literally showcasing white people that want to go crazy. He's showcasing crazy white folks. And I also like that he put a good laugh in me every morning I would tune in and I would watch Donald Trump Twitter. I would laugh and I would get a good laugh because he would go off on John Lemon. He would go off of the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. He would go off on all these people. He would go off on President Obama, how they spied on his campaign. Like, he would just go off on people. And that's what I love. The fact I love him on Twitter. I follow him on Truth Social. I think that he's really good on Truth Social, but a lot of moderates and a lot of progressives is on Twitter, so I love it. So they did a poll yesterday and did a poll, and over 5 million people voted and said, yes, we want Trump back on Twitter. Over 5 million people. I was one of the ones that voted yes. It was about 52% said yes, 48% said no. And I voted yes. And I voted yes because we need him to be on Trump, to be on Twitter. We need to look at that. I am 100%, I agree that Trump needs to be on Twitter. A lot of African Americans, unfortunately, is upset that he's back on Twitter, but a lot of African Americans need to understand you must own social media sites. You don't. We have a black social media site called what's the other one? The black social media site that is actually owned by a black man fan base, and black folks don't go over there. So don't get mad that Mr. Musk got President Trump back on Twitter. I'm not understanding it. And y'all support these platforms, but they get mad. And then people talking about Wiley, you're gonna leave Twitter. No, I'm not gonna leave Twitter. Twitter is not gonna go out of business. What he is doing is promoting Twitter, talking about the employees leaving Twitter. It's just giving Twitter all this free publicity. It's making people rush to go to Twitter. It's a good publicity for Twitter. Because like one rumor, they said employees leaving Twitter, they can't get in the building. It's all a ploy to get y'all to tune in, to get y'all to tweet about Twitter, and then they drive more people in the algorithm. Let me see it right here. A tweet came out that said reinstate former President Trump. Yes, 52%. No, 48%. Over 15 million people voted for the tweet. Over 15 million people voted, and it got over 298,000 retweets, and it also got 698 likes, and I love that for it. And so I'm here for it. Okay. And I don't care. And then people get upset and they get mad when it comes to this way. One thing about white America, they have been fearing the power of black people. They have been fearing this for a long time. And one thing that Trump he broadcasts and he exposes the fear of white people, and I love to see it. It's very entertaining. When those people went to Capitol Hill, when they stormed up into Capitol, I laughed. I was smiling, I was laughing because I'm like, look at these white people. Look how crazy they acted. It wasn't none of us. It was probably like one or two black people that was there, but it was majority white, and they did that because Trump, really in his mind, he thought the election was stolen. He thought it was robbed. He thought that it was stolen and all of that. Then he called Mike Pence weak. It's very entertaining. If this ain't no entertainment, I don't know what is. I was glued to the television. I think I ordered me a pizza and some popcorn, and I was looking at all this stuff, and it was very entertaining. Very entertaining. Okay. Mm-hmm. They didn't call the National Guard. The people just ran rapid, and I was just there drinking my coffee, eating my popcorn, eating my pizza, looking at it all because they thought that it was stolen. And Roland Martin wrote a book called White Fear: How the Browning of America Making White Folks Lose Their Mind. And one of the picture is it's January 6th when they went inside the state capitol. So he broadcast that. And so it is what it is. And I'm not mad at him for what he did because he was the president. How can I be mad at what the president did? It's of the president. He did it, and the folks went there and they rushed it. And they wanted some justice because they, in their mind, they thought the election was stolen. I was talking to a Trump supporter last week. He still believed that President Donald Trump is still the president. Okay. He felt like Biden is not the president. I'm like, how you know? But these people really believe this. And I'm like, maybe they don't believe this, but they really believe that the election is stolen. They really believe Trump would be reinstated back as the president. They really believe this. And it's entertaining for me. It's really, really entertaining. They really believe that. They really, really believe. I'm going to tell you about white people. I love them, but they are going around in this country, and President Trump is leading this as well as the Republicans, right? Called critical race theory. So they go into these school boards, yelling at the school board saying, critical race theory. Don't teach the kids critical race theory. Don't teach the kids about slavery and Dr. King and making our kids feel bad. And guess what? Critical race theory is not even being taught in the schools. It's not even being taught in elementary school. It's not being taught in high school. Critical race theory is taught on the college level. But it just amazes me once the Republicans put out a lie and white people believe it. And some black folks believe it too. That's one thing about them. They believe the lie. And that's one thing about Republicans. They really, really good with messaging. They are so good with messaging. It could be a lie, but they will promote that lie all the way to the end till they get into power. And that's one thing about President Trump. In his mind, you could talk to him now. He's going to say the election was stolen. He's going to say he won the election and Democrats stole ballots. He's going to say this stuff. And he really believes it. And he hired people to believe it. This man, let me tell y'all something about President Trump. It was very funny. And I'm glad he's back on Twitter because I want to see some more stuff he's going to say on Twitter. But he literally had candidates running off of the election was stolen. And they call it election deniers. They all lost the election, right? Most of them lost. And all because it wasn't about their qualifications. It wasn't about how qualified they for the position. As long as they believed the election was stolen, he 1000% supported him. They supported him, and they will continue to support him. And that's what I have to say about President Donald Trump. Let me block this person because I'm about to block people. If I see a moderator, if I see one person say, "Did Wiley take his medication?" Please block him. Because that is so ignorant. That is so ignorant. Moderator, if anybody posts say, "Did Wiley take his medication?" Block him. I don't want to see that comment because it's so ignorant. So very ignorant. Because even if I didn't, that have nothing to do with you. Thank you. Okay. So I just have to say that. Because I'm not playing. All right. So that's what I love about President Donald Trump. And he is one of my best presidents because he's so entertaining. Now, when it came to policy, the country wasn't bad. People had jobs. We was getting a stimulus check. What messed up President Trump? And I'm going to tell y'all what messed him up. That virus. The Rona messed him up. They messed up Trump presidency. If it wasn't for the Rona, I believe Trump would have been reelected. Unfortunately, because of Trump lied so much and he was entertaining, when it was a serious pandemic, Trump did not know how to be serious. He did not know how to get his experts to do the talking and not lie and tell people to get tested and tell people to get, to be vaccinated. And so he just pretty much lied. He pretty much told people to drink bleach and all of that. He was just going over and over and he was just lying. And that messed up his opportunity because it gave Democrats a good Christmas gift. And they said, look how he handled the pandemic. And that made people rush to go vote for President Biden. He got the most votes out of everybody. And so if he would have handled that right, told people to get tested, made sure people get tested, made sure people when the vaccine came available, make sure people fund that so people can get vaccinated, and make sure he stayed on a message with the health instead of going off script, I definitely believe that he would have got reelected. And when he said, "Oh, you should drink some bleach," I knew that was a nail in his coffin. I'm like, that's a nail in the coffin. Like, why would you say? And it was some idiots that was believing that and was actually drinking bleach. But overall, when it's speaking about him on Twitter, he was extremely entertaining. I don't care what nobody say. Even the media, they love the fact that Trump is back on Twitter. You know why? Why do you think that CNN love that he's back on Twitter? Why do you think that MSNBC love the fact that he's back on Twitter? Why? Because once Trump tweets on Twitter, CNN, it becomes breaking news. And CNN talks about Trump, their ratings increase. Fox News level when Trump is on Twitter because their ratings increase. It's about ratings. So when people say, why are you talking about Trump? Because he's good in ratings. And so whatever you watch over and over and over is because of ratings, just like this. And we're going to talk about Shanquella Robinson, but a lot of these YouTubers don't give a damn about Shanquella Robinson. They don't care nothing about it. They're going to talk about her for ratings. They don't care nothing about Shanquella Robinson. It's all about ratings. And I hate to tell you, they're doing it for ratings. And some of them will go over and over and over with this, go to say the same thing over and over and over because it's because of ratings. So the reason why they're happy that Trump back on Twitter is because of ratings, because they get more dollars. And that's what it is. It's about that business. So when people say, I'm tired of y'all talking about Trump, when we talk about Trump, the ratings is through the roof. And I'm talking about CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, it's other news networks out there. They talk about it. And so that's just how I go. We definitely want to see about that. And so one thing I can say about Trump, he did really good. Now, let me get him off the air. And I got to give President Biden a shout out. Shout out to President Biden. I believe today is his birthday. He's 80 years old. And I want to sing happy birthday to the president. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. All right, he's 80 years old. And I'm so happy for him because he did something that I like. He canceled some of my student loan debt, even though it's held up in court. So let's hope that the courts get it right and allow it to be approved. But I want to read the email that I received in my email. I felt that singing that to the president. I felt that singing that to the president. I felt that. It's just something about when I was singing to the president. I got a feeling that the president is watching that. But I love the president. And there's something else. I got a blessing in my email. I want to read it. It said, Marquis said my first name. This email provides you with an update on the one-time student loan debt relief plan that President Biden and I announced on August 24th. We review your application and determine you are eligible for a loan relief under the plan. We have sent this approval to your loan servicer. You do not need to take any further action. Unfortunately, a number of lawsuits have been filed challenging the program, which have blocked our ability to discharge your debt at present. We believe strongly that the lawsuits are meritless and the Department of Justice has appealed on our behalf. Your application is completed and approved, and we will discharge your approved debt if and when we prevail in court. We will update you when there are new developments. The Biden-Harris administration is committed to helping borrowers as they recover from the pandemic. Education is a great equalizer, and we will never stop fighting for you. All right? So they're trying to block it. And this is the thing about what President Biden can do. As long as you're the president, continue to freeze the student loan payments, the making payments for the student loan, continue to freeze it because he can do that as president. And hopefully it goes through. Maybe we have to wait till a couple of the justices, transition and go with the ancestors. All right. So hopefully it goes through, and we'll see how that's going to play out. But I do honor and appreciate President Biden for doing that. And this is why it's important. And I'm going to say this really quick before we get to other topics. This is why I tell Black folks to vote, because when the president in office, he appoints judges. The Senate confirmed those federal judges. So because Trump put so many right-wing judges on the bench, they are now trying to stop some of the progress that President Biden has announced. So when we say vote, we're not just saying vote for president, because that president comes with responsibilities. And one of the responsibilities of the president is to nominate judges, federal judges. And it was a Trump appointee that blocked the student loan cancellation. But this is where it's going to mess it up with the Republicans, because the young people have spoken. They're voting for Democrats at a high rate. Okay? They're voting for Democrats at a high rate. This is a good gift that President Biden is giving to the young people that voted for him, not just for young people, but for people that have student loan debt. If this get approved and this debt is canceled, it will help a lot of people to buy homes, to buy cars, to buy more stuff, to buy more products that will help companies and that will offer more jobs. This will help a lot of people. This will help them to relieve them, to help increase their credit scores. So this will help a lot of people. And a lot of times why they don't want this to happen, because it's going to help black folks. I said something right then and there. These Republicans don't want to see black folks get economically to another level. So they want to block that. Now, if this program only affected white folks, they would have never challenged it. But because it will help a lot of black and brown folks, they want to say, we got to stop this program because we don't want these blacks owning homes and getting that economic power, getting a part of that American dream. That's why they blocked it, because black folks is going to benefit from this more than anybody, even though this program helps all people. But it's a lot of black and brown folks with a lot of student loan debt. So they don't want us to get that breathing room. They want us to be down. They want us choked in debt. This is why black folks must wake up and stop sleeping and realize what's really going on. And this is why I tell black people, read Roland Martin's book. We got this on the book club. Y'all better get this book and educate yourself about what's going on. They don't want to see us go to the next level. They don't. So, thank y'all so very much. Shout out to President Biden. And if this debt relief go through, I will vote for you in 2024. You will have my vote. Or I'm going to see if President Trump going to agree to cancel all the debt. And if he said, I canceled it all, then he will have my vote. Whoever's going to help me economically, going to have my vote. All right? It's just simple as that. All right? It's as simple as that. Whoever's going to help me economically, that's how I vote. Who's going to put more money in my pocket? Who's going to help me financially? For my family, my community, that's who I vote for. All right. What policy and plan? I knew that President Biden, and because of Kamala Harris, see, a lot of people that give Kamala Harris her props. Kamala Harris pressured President Biden to cancel the student loan debt. All right. And I guess President Biden, being that type of person, he's trying to work on both sides. He said, well, let's cancel like $20,000. But in my mind, and we need this, we need a candidate to say, hey, cancel all the student loan debt. Wipe it all, cancel it all. And if they do that, it will be more homeowners in the next 10 years than you ever see. You will have more black people become homeowners. And what comes with property, being a property owner? Wealth. One thing about wealth, that property, the reason why black wealth went down is because of the recession, and a lot of people had to they had to foreclose on their homes, and so they became renters. So if they cancel all the student loan debt, more people will have more cash in their pocket, and their credit would be good, and they would become home owners, and that will help them in the wealth gap. That will literally bridge the gap between white and black wealth. We will be catching up with white folks, even though we way behind. But canceling that student loan debt will make millions of new African-American homeowners. See, they don't want that. I'm telling you what it is. They playing the game. Y'all better know what they playing. All right? Now, I humbly believe in 2024, we need a younger candidate, because I feel like this. Once you get to your 80s, it's time for you to bridge the gap and get young folks in there, younger people. And that's one thing I like about Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. I'm glad that she said, hey, let me not retire, but let me step down as the leader of the Democratic Party and usher in younger folks. You know why she said that? It's because a lot of young people are voting now, and they want to see people that reflect and look like them. So I'm glad that she stepped down. I'm glad that Congressman Kleinberg, he stepped down he's not going to run, and they're going to usher in from younger talent. We need that. And as president, we need younger people, because I don't want people in their 80s and stuff like that. But if you are going to be old, get somebody young. So just in case you clock out or become an ancestor, we can have a younger vice president to take over. All right. So, because I'm not against older people being in office, but I feel like if you get into your 80s and stuff like that, it's time for you now to retire, enjoy your life, and allow younger people to pick up the baton to keep going. And that's what I believe. I don't believe that you should just be in office, you 80 some years old, and you just want to, like, when you get a certain age, you should relieve and let the young people, take over. All right. We need fresh new people in politics. Fresh people. That's why I'm supporting Jamal Green in office. That's why I'm supporting Jamal Green. Give me a second. Let me show y'all something. That's why I'm supporting Jamal Green for office. And people get mad, come like, you don't even stay in Chicago. Why are you supporting him? Because I can, because it's me. And I'm going to do what I want to do. Give me a second. What? It is what it is. Hold on one second. All right. So I want to screen share and show y'all something really quickly. Okay. Here we go. And we're going to get to other topics.
All right, Chicago. I know everybody's been wondering, do we have enough signatures to get on the ballot? Well, I want to tell you this. Our team has gathered 30,000 signatures to get on the ballot for mayor of the city of Chicago, and we're filing Monday morning. Let's go, team. We're going all the way to City Hall.
Now, we have another challenge for you. We need to raise $30,000 by this Monday, to get this young man on the ballot. Donate $25 at gogreenchicago.com.
J-Mo Green for a vibrant future we can all believe in.
All right, so you see that he got 30,000 signatures, and he's really close to getting on the ballot, and he have my full support. I'm donating to his campaign. I want to interview him. I just love the fact I think that we need new talent in the city of Chicago. We need new, bright ideas, okay? So that was that. All right, let's move on to other topics. So I have to sprinkle the politics in with the mess, all right? That's why I said I have to sprinkle the politics in with the mess, okay? All right, let's go to our other topic here. Who else are we talking about today? Chris Brown. I like Chris Brown. I feel like if he did not put hands on Rihanna, he would be on the level, this generation Michael Jackson. But because he put hands on Rihanna, that kind of destroyed his image, his reputation. But his fans love him. Now, he was supposed to perform at the American Music Awards, and he had his whole choreography set up. He was going to pay homage towards Michael Jackson and everything. And he got a phone call. His team got a phone call and said that he's no longer needed to perform. He won't not be performing at the American Music Award, which I feel like is really a disservice. It doesn't make any sense that you tell he can perform and then don't allow him to perform. And I tell these African-American performers that we have to start putting that energy with the Soul Train Awards. Like Chris Brown, you should have performed at the Soul Train Awards, because support organizations that cater towards you. You need to perform at the NAACP Image Awards, because these white institutions, unfortunately, they only pick their favorites. They only pick people that kiss their butt. They only pick people that bow down to them. They don't care about who feelings they hurt. They don't care if that you've been packaging, that you've been doing this, that you doing all this, that you on stage and you doing all this. They will call you in a second and say, we don't need you. And Chris Brown have a lot of fans. One thing that Chris Brown did, he allowed to take pictures with his fans. He did something so incredible that they were paying $1,000. He would take pictures. Those pictures will live on forever. That memory of saying, I met my favorite artist, Chris Brown. He had one lady, she had jumped up in his arms, and it's a picture, right? He took another picture with a man, and it was $1,000. You had some people that did not have the 1,000 saying this. Why he charging 1,000? If you ain't got the 1,000, don't complain about the people that do got the 1,000. Because quiet as kept, it's a lot of black folks with money. So if you got $1,000 to spare to give to an artist for their time and for that conversation and picture, pay it. If you don't got it, you ain't got it. So don't get mad at the black folks that got the 1,000 or the white people that got the 1,000 to pay to link up with Chris Brown. Nothing wrong with it. And then a lot of artists starting to follow in his footsteps, having these meet and greets, having this, you know what I'm saying, these meet and greets, and they're trying to follow into his footsteps. He did something so great. Many people would say, well, I think he did it because he's not broke. He's well taken care of. He's an incredible artist. He's worth a lot of money. But if doing this and knowing that it takes time and energy and you have to perform, I'd rather charge you 1,000. And people, it was a lot of folks that took pictures with Chris Brown, and those pictures lives forever. And people can't get mad. And I was happy. And if I had the $1,000, I would take a picture with Chris Brown for 1,000 because I'm a fan of Chris Brown. And his concert, I remember me and a lot of folks, we was in Vegas, and we was going to see Usher. And the security guard, she was mad. She was like, oh, man, I wish I was at the Usher concert. I mean, at the Chris Brown concert, because Chris Brown was performing up the street and you had Usher performing. And that security guard said, man, I wish I was at the Chris Brown concert. She really wanted to see Chris Brown and everything like that. But I never seen Chris Brown in person or seen him on the show. I never did. But I will go to a Chris Brown concert. Whenever he come to Dallas, I'm definitely going to see Chris Brown. And if he have a meet and greet for $1,000, I'm gonna work a couple of doubles, and I'm going to pay that 1,000 to go take pictures with Chris Brown because I don't mind doing so. I think that's a good look for his brand. And back to the American Music Award, that's their loss. Chris Brown, if I were you, I would go live, I would get the stage, get the cameras, and you perform on your channel. Perform on your website, perform on Instagram, perform on TikTok. That's how you should do. Okay. All right. That's what you do. Listen to Brother Wiley. Get you some cameras. Get the lights. You perform on your Instagram and show us that performance. So for all the work that you did won't go to race. And I guarantee you'll probably have more viewership than the American Music Awards. Because one thing about the award shows, they're not getting the views like they used to. I don't care who they have. They don't get the views if they used to. All right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm 100% on Chris Brown's side. I feel like he should do that because what that would tell the American Music Award, that's your loss. And invite a couple of guests on to perform. That's your loss for not having me on your award show. You're not gonna have me on award show. I'm gonna go to my people directly and show them this performance. And the media will talk about it because it will show that you took a stand. You didn't allow them to say, "Oh no, I'm not going to American Music Award." Don't okay. Well, I'm gonna go to my people. That's how you show them. Right? That's how you show them and say, hey, I'm going to do it. Just like all these artists that's upset because they're not nominated for a Grammy, but how many of them artists show up when they're nominated for a Soul Train Award, when they nominated for a BET Award? Do you give those award shows the same amount of clout, excuse me, that you give the Grammys? That's what I'm saying. So he's an incredible African-American. He's an incredible superstar. He's incredible of all of that. And I love that he's just a great artist. I was against him when he did what he did to Rihanna, but I forgave him because he learned his lesson. And I feel like if you make a mistake in life, it shouldn't be good. It's not good to just always bring that up. If that person apologized, Rihanna forgave him. So we as a community, we need to forgive him as well. All right. Thank you so very much. Then people will say Chris Brown is biracial. That's an ignorant person because Chris Brown is not biracial. He's black. And if he was biracial, who cares? It's a lot of African Americans that is biracial. And most of them identify as being black. Most of them is black. If they ain't say a word, you don't even know they biracial unless they say it. So we must support that. And people always, they got to say, oh, he ain't black. What that got to do with he? If you look at him, he black. Okay? Just like, oh, Drake is biracial, but Drake still identify as black. Black people are the only one that really talk like that get ignorant. Oh, he ain't black, he biracial. But it's a lot of us that's biracial. It's a lot of us got European in our blood. We were slaves. You think the slave masters didn't sleep with your great grandmother? Get real. A lot of black they don't know their history. Like, if you really trace down your ancestry, you got some European in your blood. Because your if you was on a slave slip, it's a strong possibility that your great grandmother that was on that field, the slave master humped her. So it's a lot of African American that's biracial. They just don't know it because they don't know their history. So I was just saying, I was just giving my point across. Just say what I'm saying. I remember it was an African family, and they were white, but their daughter was black. And South Africa, they said, we're not going to classify her as white. She's black. So the white African father had to fight to get his daughter to classify as white because they kept saying because she looked black. She was black. She looked black. So they kept saying, no, she's not white. She's black. So I forgot the name of that movie, and I think a lot of people need to see that movie and understand that movie. And to watch, I watched it, and the black, she then they classified her as white. They went to court, and then years later she went on and changed it to black because that's how she looked, black. And she was born with two African white parents, but it was one of that. And I always and I was talking to people about it. They said if you go down in that person DNA or history, that's not so uncommon, right? And then we got people that's doing that DNA history. And I remember watching that movie. I forgot the name of it, but it was a good movie. And I was like, wow. So where did it come from? So it's all about your history. All right. Thank you so very much. And make sure you check your ancestry. I think all of us need to know where we're from. Where we from. And yeah, because it's been people that have a black father and they came out looking white. You can tell that they had a black father. You can tell they were looking as white. So it's a lot of people that had that, and so that's just how it is. And I just think that now we should love all people. Period. Point blank. All right. Let's go to the other topic. Chris Brown, with you, brother. Perform on your social media, and I'll be the first one to look you up. Now, this chick, Tommy, is it Tommy Lee? She was at a club, and this is what I want to say about it. She was at a club, and I guess somebody touched her foot, or they was doing something, and so she grabbed the lady and beat up the lady. She was fighting the lady that touched her foot. Grabbed her foot, and she started hitting the lady. I'm like, what? Why are you doing this, Tommy? Like, I'm not understanding. I don't even know why you're famous, because I'm not a fan. I never heard of you. You look malnourished. So I'm not really a fan, but I was disgusted by that behavior. I was disgusted by that behavior because it was giving off low-class black. It was giving off that low vibrational energy. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And already you're going to get a lawsuit because you put hands on that person. And that's not good at all. Doesn't make any sense. Fighting. Get on my nerves doing that. Get on my nerves. I just said it like that. I think she should apologize, but people still gonna be fans of her because they love that toxic energy, and it is what it is. Okay, they love that toxic energy. All right, let's move on to Trey Songz. You know, I love Trey Songz. I'm gonna read this article because everybody I've been talking about Trey Songz and they was tagging me in the posts and all over social media. They just tagged me. Wiley talk about Trey Songz, talk about Trey Songz, and I'm like, give me a second. I'm gonna talk about him because everybody is sending me stuff all in my social media about Trey Songz, about what he did, and or accused of doing, and I say I don't believe it. So let me read the article because people have just been sending me stuff all on my social media about Trey Songz. So I said, let me discuss it, and I'm going to give my thoughts about Trey Songz. So TMZ, they wrote an article, and they said Trey Songz denied beating a woman in New York City. Police report filed. That's the headline. So Trey Songz is on the police radar in New York after a woman claimed he brutalized her last month. A claim he's calling BS on TMZ has learned. In NYPD sources tell us that the alleged victim filed a report in late October claiming Trey punched her in the face repeatedly while inside a bowling alley bathroom. We told she also alleged Trey Songz dragged her by her hair and that she was taken to the hospital for what cops noted were visible minor injuries. Our sources say the woman is a worker of the establishment, but it's unclear what might have perpetrated this. There's not much context beyond her account, although our sources say the woman recognized Trey and identified him by name to the police after the fact. In any case, we're told they're now in an active case for this and that the cops are interested in talking to Trey at the very least. This is certainly not the greatest news for him, considering other accusations heard at him in the past years. As the NYPD spokesperson confirmed to TMZ that the investigation into this is ongoing. As we reported, Trey was sued for rape recently, but the case was dismissed over statute of limitation. There have been other issues of alleged sexual to the singer as well as of which he denied and characterized as a shakedown. So I want to say this, and I want to be humble. I don't believe this bull crap because Letty said she was an employee. He beat her up in the restroom, then she went to the hospital. Where were the other employees? Where were the other witnesses? What's really going on? And then she had minor injuries. So obviously it wasn't good. I personally believe she probably beat up herself to get money from Trey Songz and to get some bread, to get a settlement. I don't believe he beat up somebody in the restroom at a bowling alley. That sounds so not true. And then she filed the charge in October. Now TMZ now just picking it up. I don't believe it at all. They're doing this for a come up. And most of the time, these women, they hear a story on TMZ and here they hear, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I don't believe it at all that this particular woman is a victim. I believe she beat up herself, in my humble opinion. Don't believe it at all. Trey Songz don't have to beat up a woman in no bathroom, in no bowling alley. No witnesses. He wasn't arrested after the fact. She filed charges. And then now they're talking about it on TMZ, meaning that the woman didn't get any clout, and now she called TMZ herself to get them to talk about it. I don't believe it at all. He don't need to be. He have a good smell. He's a good guy. In my gut, I believe that lady's a liar, and it's probably a Karen trying to take down a black man. I personally believe it, right? She probably smashed Trey Songz in the restroom. He didn't pay her, and then she goes and she beats up herself, just like the black woman beat up herself, and a thin line between love and hate, beat up herself, and that's what I think would happen. She beat up herself, and she had minor injuries, so she didn't really do a good job. So I necessarily do not believe it. I don't believe it. I believe that Trey Songz is innocent. I believe it's another shakedown, and I believe because of the energy that's given to other witnesses saying he touched them inappropriately, they're coming out on their Instagram or getting a lawyer that got caught up in a scandal, and now this woman in the restroom got beat up and want to take down. And then eventually she's going to be represented by Lisa Bloom and try to get a check and trying to shake down Trey Songz for a coin. I've seen this story play out time and time again. I do not believe that he beat up a woman in in a bowling alley restroom. Where were the other customers? Where was the other witnesses? Where was the other co-workers? Nobody else confirmed the story. I don't believe it. I do believe this woman beat up herself. That's just in my humble opinion. If you don't believe it, it is what it is. And I know a lot of women have said the same thing, but most women can lie and say the same story over and over again just to take down a black man. He never been arrested or convicted of any of these acts. So this is just nothing but an allegation. And we just can't be just taking the allegation and saying, okay, this is a fact. I do believe that woman beat up herself. I feel it in my gut. It's just something about that. I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my gut that she's a liar. I feel it in my gut. So I don't believe it. So if he was in my courthouse because he's attractive, because he's good looking, I would not give him any. He will walk free because he's not guilty. And I will question that so-called victim and really question her. Unfortunately, TMZ didn't really question her. They just took a story and they just run with it as a fact. They don't care. They just doing it for clicks and views. So I definitely don't believe it at all. And I know there's some women out here, they believe it. Most of them, they just want Chris Brown or Trey on themselves, and they just make up stuff just to, to go viral. And that's this particular woman. And eventually, once she's not getting any money, she's going to be on Instagram. She's going to go on TikTok. She's going to try to get out plans. She's going to try to get verified. She's going to be trying to get club bookies, and that's what's really going to happen. And she says she's an employee at the Boy Lab. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Just trying to get a bag and take down this black man. And I said what I say. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And I know some women in the chat, they probably mad about it, but that's just my opinion. If you upset, you can call in. Nothing I can do about you if you upset. But I have to give my thoughts about the situation. All right. And then you could just always hit the link and call in. Okay. Now let me go to Dababy, and I liked it. That's another artist I like. But he have been under. I don't know. Somebody in the industry don't like Dababy, and I believe it's Jay-Z, Rock Nation. They plant these stories about Dababy allegedly because they kept saying he ain't selling no shows, he ain't selling out, or he came to a job trying to give out free tickets. He got a special buy one ticket get 50 free. And then when you go to his concert, when you see his concert online, when he tapes it, it's hundreds and hundreds of people at his concert. So people is buying his tickets. I think it's somebody in the industry that's trying to take down Dababy. And I believe it got to do something with Rock Nation, okay? Because they're trying to take him down. Because I don't believe it. He is selling. It's a lot of people that like Dababy and like his music. Whenever he comes to my city, I'm going to buy a ticket and go to his concert. All right. I'm a huge fan of Dababy. I feel like he's a good artist. And a lot of people was like, oh, he came to the Cheesecake Factory and he offered us free tickets. He probably offered y'all free tickets. That's not uncommon for artists to treat employees to a show. It's not uncommon. Not uncommon. It's artists that give free tickets on the radio. Does that make them trash? No, it's called marketing. And then they did that. And what did they do? Them thirsty, low-class people, right? They go on social media saying, he gave us free tickets, but we didn't go. That's a lie. You know you're going to see that show and try to give Dababy some of your punani. Get up out of here with that. But you're saying that for clout, saying that you went to the show. But they said, oh, he came there to the show and he often comes to, but I didn't go. You went to that show. Come on now. Get up out of here. He's an incredible artist. He's very talented. And one thing that I like about Dababy, his flow is on point. His albums on point. Remember, he wrote one record called, he said he effed the fan and he know the fan was in a relationship, but he still effed the fan. That song was an instant classic. I love the records that this man makes. He directs his own videos. He choreographs his stuff. It is just incredibly great. I'm a huge fan. Most of these women will take off their panties for Dababy. So they act like they'll get into the comments and act like, I don't like them. If he came into your house or you got invited to a show, you had a time to have a one-on-one time with Dababy, you would give him some. So let's not act like you ain't gonna give him nothing, just taking off your drawers. Like, come on with it. You'll be whoosh, take off your bra, your jaw, just like that. And you'll be rocking his music from day point. So his music is off the chain, right? So I love his music. And I was recently talking to somebody that's really close to his team. And I told him, I said, tell Dababy keep going. Because I obviously some people out there that's trying to take him out. And he's showing that he's still relevant. He's still relevant. And the more you throw darts at him, he's still winning. He's still taking a private jet. He's still got hundreds and hundreds of fans showing up at his concert. They're there. And he's still rocking the latest trends on his neck. He's an intelligent guy, right? Just because he treated Danny Lay like he did, but Danny Lay, unfortunately, she got out of her place. She was a side chick. She was just a side piece. And she acted like she was the main, you're just a side piece while just coming you and leave, and all that. And a lot of women was upset about that, but it is what it is. She wasn't nothing but a side piece. But that does not take away from his music. All right. He's an incredible guy. And when he come to Dallas, I'm definitely going to a show. Whenever he come to Dallas. Paul, write it down. Whenever he come to Dallas, book me a ticket. Because I definitely want to be there. When he come to Dallas, I would definitely be there. All right. Okay. DJ Academics. This brother was on Vlad TV and he said something so controversial that got people upset. He said Quavo probably was the cause. Probably he didn't really blame Quavo, but he said pretty much Quavo said some things and it went off. And he said that, a lot of street dudes lack emotional intelligence, right? You say something, it could be the most simple thing and they'll go off. And I believe that. It's a lot of things with a lot of these street dudes, I call it low class, right? They don't know how to take a joke or criticism. A lot of these low class street dudes that's in the Black community, they don't know how to take criticism. We could be playing dice or talking about basketball, and everybody and they don't like to be embarrassed. And everybody could be on Quavo's side, like Quavo's so right, and then you on the out, and everybody look at you weird. Then you want to get your weapon. So a lot of people, unfortunately, that's just how it is. I feel like Quavo should have never been around those low class Blacks with that energy. He should have continued to be with wealthy people and play went to the casino and play people and have conversations with people that own basketball teams. He should have never downgraded him and Takeoff should have never been there in the first place. So I'm not mad at Quavo. I'm not mad at DJ Academics or what he said. I'm upset with Quavo and I'm upset that he went there, and I'm upset that he got into altercation with low-class Blacks. That should have never been. So he should have just stayed with the multimillionaires, with the Diddy's, with the Drakes and all of that. You don't see Drake hanging around people playing no dice, talking about basketball, or he hang around people with money. And that's why I'm not understanding why Quavo and Takeoff would make that elementary mistake. That was so crazy for them to make that mistake. And so when they did that, Takeoff lost his life. A talented young brother, didn't even get to see 30. He's very talented. So I'm not upset with DJ Academics. He got his opinion. And I agree with his opinion. A lot of people were mad, but I agree with it. It is what it is. I agree with Academics, even though, and a lot of people say, even though I can't stand them, they agree with them. And so shout out to Nika at Night because she said something. Let me see if I can pull up what Nika at Night said, because it was something with her comment that she said on there that I saw. So give me a second. I'm gonna read to y'all what Nika at Night said. So give me a second while I run and find that on my social media. Let me see if I can find her comment. Okay, she said this. Y'all in the comments acting like he told a lie. If you say, let me leave before I hurt somebody, most people would be like, before you hurt who, or some might say nothing and pop off. But the statement is definitely a trigger word for N-words with an ego. But what would the internet be without fake outrage in the comments? And I agree with her on that. So I thank you. I agree with her on that. She said something. So we're going to move on from that. And if y'all got any topics to talk about, y'all could definitely comment in the chat about that. We got to bring up T.S. Madison. She is in hot water, you guys, because T.S. Madison was talking about what happened with Shanquella Robinson, and also they buried Shanquella Robinson on yesterday. And this was T.S. Madison said, she said, now why would someone even start to kind of lie on a trans person? You people immediately believe that bogus s. That was not true. No transgender woman beat Shanquella Robinson to death. It was one of her own. You people immediately ran with that lie. Then a person responded to T.S. Madison and said, I'm glad you said her own. So you are admitting we aren't the same. So stop this BS. We all the same woman because you said her own did that. Yet we posed to be in outrage when you get hurt. So T.S. Madison responded, I'm T.S. Madison. Get it? T.S. I always stood on me being trans. So what you're saying. And you know what? I wasn't even mad at T.S. Madison with that statement because it was one of her own. It was Fish that took out Shanquella Robinson. And I use Fish in the term of low class. And it was one of Fish. It was a low class man that took out her own that took out Shanquella Robinson. It wasn't a trans. And what really happened with the lady picture, it was somebody on Twitter that took off her wig and put a man hairdo on her, and that's what they said it was a trend. So it was one of her own that took out Shanquella Robinson. It was not, I'm gonna say it again, it was not a trans person. So I'm not mad at T.S. Madison's statement. I know a lot of women got caught up in their feelings because they don't like trans women, period. There's some women that don't believe trans women are women. There's some women that believe that they're not on the same level, they don't have the same experience, and that's fine and dandy, but T.S. Madison should be able to give their opinion. But every time T.S. Madison give her opinion and critical of women, they immediately start to attacking her hard. Like it's women that love T.S. Madison, but it's some women that do not like her at all. And when she says some stuff like that, it was one of her own. That was a trigger word, and it triggered a lot of women out of the bushes, and they started to criticize T.S. Madison, even to the point T.S. Madison went on the internet, went on Instagram Live, and she talked about the situation, saying that that people was coming at her, and she have no disrespect towards Shanquella Robinson. She was just stating the fact. And then this is also what T.S. Madison wrote. She said this: y'all are so funny. So now all of a sudden today, you started accepting trans women as women. It's the pick and choose when I say that offend for me. Okay. So it was her own that drove you mad. And so that's what happened. A lot of people was upset. It was really angry at T.S. Madison. But T.S. Madison gave her thoughts. And if there's some women that disagree with T.S. Madison, you can always hit the link and you can call in and give your thoughts. And also, too, we want to send our prayers to the Robinson family and stuff. Like, even though I feel like they're a lot of clout chasers too, because they had a goal for 100,000, then they made it to 200,000. Now it was up to 300,000. A little clout chasing, a little money grab, in my humble opinion. Because at one point, the Robinson family, the sister, had it for 100,000. And then it went to 200,000. Now it's up to 300,000. So it's a money grab. Like, you already got your 100. Don't be greedy. You already got your 100,000. Now you made it up to 300. So a little bit greed with that Robinson family. Y'all watching with greed. I think it's the sister. She had it at 100,000. Now it's at 300,000. I'm like, damn. Y'all reach y'all go there. Y'all change the goal again. In my own opinion, I'm just giving my thoughts, and they just kept changing the amount. And okay, I guess. And now it's at 450,000. Next is going to be at 3 million. All right, it is what it is. So you just watch out for that Robinson family, because I know they grieving, but they sure getting the money grab up that coin. I ain't mad at you. It is what it is. Just my thoughts. Stuff like that. Okay. The money is probably, I'm hoping, is for her. I don't think she have children. If she have children, let me know. I don't think she have any children. Her sister put out the GoFundMe, and so the FBI is involved. And I talked to a subscriber today, and they were saying that it's not a trans woman that took her out. It was a woman, and that she lived in that city, and I was trying to get on the show. She didn't want to come on, so it is what it is. So never get a toss. I'm 100% on the side of the FBI to get involved and to find out who did it. And we're going to get off the Shanquella Robinson to something new, because I'm tired of talking about a person that died, and I don't want to seem like I'm clout chasing for clicks and views. But I bring this story to y'all for awareness, and I'm definitely hoping they find the people that did it, or the people, or if it were her so-called friends, that they get charged. And hopefully they go to that Mexican prison, because Mexican prison is nowhere near like American prison. All right. Mexican prison is nothing like American prison. So if they go to Mexico prison, oh, yeah. Like somebody said, I think she got the money for. She ain't got no kids, but her sister sure gonna be eating good because she raised about 300,000-400,000, and eventually Robinson family gonna fight over the money. Just watch. That's how they do. Whoever controls the GoFundMe gets the money. So hopefully the sister share with the father and the mother. We'll see if they're gonna fight over the money. But I guarantee they might fight over the money because a lot of black folks, they be grieving, but they will stop grieving and fight over that money. The sister created the account. I ain't mad at it. And a basketball player, he donated 65,000, which is great. That's good. All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna open up the phone lines as well. We dropped the link because I know it's late. I know y'all probably sleep. So I'm open up the phone lines as well. So moderators, let me know if y'all can hear the message. Let me know if y'all can hear the message, and we can have the phone lines open up. Okay, can y'all hear that? Yeah, I hope they go to the Mexican prison. Let me know if y'all can hear that Blog Talk Radio message. Because if y'all can hear it, then the phone lines can be open. Oh, y'all didn't hear it? Oh, it's not working. Oh, okay, it's not working. I thought it was working. My bad. Sorry, y'all. No, they said they didn't hear it. So y'all have to come on StreamYard. Because I know a person wanted to call in, but y'all could just have to come on StreamYard. All right. So definitely, hopefully the friends, like the Mexican prison is not like American prison because you don't want to go to prison in Mexico. That you can't hear it, so there's no need. Just hit the StreamYard. If you couldn't hear the message, why would I open the post the number? Hit the StreamYard. Whoever want to come on, now it's y'all time because it's over an hour. I did my job. Now, if anybody want to say something, you can hit the link. If you got any comments, what you want to say, you can have your comments right now. Okay. If you didn't hear the blog talk, it didn't work. All right. All right. 2494. I don't know if they're gonna hear you, but go ahead. I can hear you, but I don't know if they're gonna hear you. You probably got to hit the StreamYard. But go ahead. Okay, Dad. Thank you. Because I don't know if they'll be able to hear you or not. Okay. All right. Yeah. Y'all better get used to StreamYard. Because I don't care if y'all don't call in or not, because I did my job. Calling in is just for y'all to give y'all thoughts to talk to the Wiley Show. Oh, okay. He gonna talk in faces. I was saying, what was she at last night? She back. Okay. All right. And y'all better not be disrespectful to talking faces. Go ahead, talking faces. Thank you. Hold on, they said they can't hear you. Hold on one second. They said they can't hear you. Hold on. Oh man. They said they hear you. I'm trying to make sure. Say something now. Go ahead. Can y'all hear now? Go ahead. Talking faces. Oh damn. Y'all see y'all couldn't hear her. Oh, somebody else call in. Let me make sure because I think I clicked something in. All right. I didn't mean for her to hang up. I was going to do it because I gotta have somebody on here so I can make sure the sound is going through. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Oh no, I didn't hear the thing, so I don't know if it'll work. Okay. Well, I don't need her to hang up. Don't hang up so I can see if it worked. Talking Faces, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know if they can hear you. Can y'all hear her? Go ahead. Can you say something else?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Let me know. Let me know if y'all can hear her. It works. All right, go ahead. Talking
Okay,
Faces. I'm sorry.
so I do agree with you. I'm glad that Donald Trump is back on Twitter because when he's on Twitter, people actually get to see how cuckoo this man is, how delusional he is, how hateful he is. So I'm really glad that he's back on Twitter because people need to see him for who he really is. So that's all I'm gonna say on Trump. As
I
for
agree.
Trey,
I agree. I think, and then also too, um, let's not act like we don't want to see him on Twitter because when he was on Twitter, we talked about his tweets. Like a lot of people got into politics and got inspired to go and get into because of Trump. So
right?
he's a good boogeyman for African Americans because what it does, it make us vote, it make us get involved, it make us get engaged because he's that bully man. And most people believe he's racist. So what it does, it wakes up at the African Americans. Because let's go with Dr. King. What made him so impressive? You had white folks, white racists out there pulling sicking dogs and fire hose, and that it made him accomplish so much because he was that light of nonviolence, and he played on white people emotional feelings, and that provoked the Civil Rights Act, that provoked the Housing Act, that provoked a lot of things. So I think Trump being on Twitter will provoke African Americans to get involved and to get up and not to be asleep, because a lot of times some people in the African American community just sleep and don't be knowing what's going on. But I think when Trump is on there, that would keep them up.
I totally agree with you. 100%. I'm glad he's back on. And like you said, the media, they're going to put him all over CNN, MSNBC because he is good for ratings. They actually, I believe, want him to win because he's good for TV, which is sad.
It's really good. Like when you look at a Biden speech, I go to sleep. I don't like to look at his State of the Union address. I was only interested because he was canceling student loan debt, but I'm not going to listen to a President Biden speech all the way through. But Trump, I can listen to Trump for the beginning, middle, and end. He keeps my attention. Because number one, he's going to be disrespectful to the media. He's going to be calling the media fake news. He's going to have so much controversy and so much noise that you're interested, just like Nikki. Nikki creates when she's trying to drop something, she creates drama online, and that makes people involved. Like the Grammys, she wanted a Grammy nominee, so she created all this controversy by name dropping Lotto and all that drama. Now she's quiet because she ain't got nothing coming out. But as soon as she gets something coming out, it's going to be some controversy. So that's the same thing with Trump.
And you know what? The whole thing with the bleach, him wanting people to ingest bleach and UV rays in your body. I was actually watching his press conference at the White House when he actually said that. And I could not believe this man said that on TV. And the doctor was right there. And she didn't even interject in and tell him that that's dangerous. So that's crazy. We need to see who he is. I'm all for him on there. Okay, so I'm so glad you got into politics tonight. I'm so glad that you talked about you it's not about Democrat or Republican. It's about who's going to help you in your life. Who's going to make your living situation better, like the student loan thing. The Republicans went to court to get it blocked so no one can get it. So the Biden administration is trying to fight to get that out. A lot of people don't know either that the Biden administration has gotten a lot of people that had like petty drug charges that were nonviolent released out of jail. So many people, but they don't talk about that. That's one thing about the Democratic Party. They are horrible at messaging. The Republicans are masters
Yeah,
at messaging.
they're masters at communication, at their message, right?
Yes.
Democrats, they because the number one, they don't have enough black consultants. Because if they had a black person like me, I would say like soon on forgive. Let's talk about it. Like the infrastructure bill. Let's promote more of that.
Right.
President Biden needs to do press conference in front of a bridge that's destroyed and say we're going to rebuild this bridge in Mississippi. They need to do more messaging and more and start broadcasting what they're doing. And that's something that the Trump administration, they broadcast what they were doing. They broadcast what they wanted to do. He kept saying the wall, the wall, the wall. He even lied when he announced that he ran for president. He said the wall was built, and it really wasn't, because a lot of the border still don't have a lot of the wall. Some parts of the border don't have nothing. But what I'm saying about the Republicans, they will lie, but they will promote that lie to the end of it. Democrats, they're so terrible promoting their good. Like again, like Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, she accomplished a lot as Speaker, but would you see the Democrats really talk about that? No, unfortunately, no, they don't talk about their wins enough, in my humble opinion.
You know why? I think it's because they are older people, and it is time for some new blood to come in. Because when you're dealing with the Republican Party, you have to be able to be ruthless like they are, because they are ruthless. They will lie. The Democrats, okay, you remember with the unemployment, how people got the $1,100? They didn't actually want to do that. They didn't actually. Democrats had to twist their arms, and then once they did it, they wanted to stop it. Thank God Biden got elected, and so they kept it going. The Democrats did, and even when they kept it going, the Republicans didn't even vote for it the second time around.
And what Republicans kept saying, a lot of Republican governors, they lied and said people don't want to work. No,
right.
People don't want to work with low wage jobs anymore. Because what that showed with that extra income on unemployment, a lot of people for the first time in their history was making a decent amount of money.
Right.
So when that was taken away, a lot of people didn't rush to go back to their jobs because they didn't want to do low wages anymore. I was working with a company, they was offering $11 to $12 an hour. They had to increase it up to like $16.50. Why? Because people wasn't applying. So people want to work, but they don't want to work for low paying jobs anymore. Because once they got that unemployment with that extra money, that unemployment, a lot of people that say, hey, why would I go back to work making $10 an hour when I'm getting an extra $350 every week with unemployment?
Right. And you know, the Republicans went out on their campaign saying, we got y'all, we extended your unemployment, when they really didn't. And what Joe Biden was able to do when he extended it, he made these employers have to go up on their wages. So that made so many people finally to get to the point where they're making a decent wage. And people don't understand that. And then they start hollering about this recession. We were closed down for 2 years. What world do we live in where you were closed down, and then when you go back and the economy opens back up, everything is going to stay the same? No, it's going to have to build itself back up.
And then also when the Republicans, what gets me about them, they said, "Oh, recession, inflation." They had a Inflation Reduction Act to help with the inflation.
Right.
Called down. Did they vote for it? No. But they kept screaming inflation. But still, when voters went out to the polls, inflation, especially for African Americans, that wasn't their number one pick.
Right.
The number one pick for African Americans, from what I was reading on Roland Martin and watching the show, was like bringing down racism, equality, and all of that. Inflation was like
women's rights.
Right. With reproductive rights, it was like 4 or 5. So inflation wasn't the number one pick. And that's why Republicans lost, because they lied and people didn't fall for the okie doke. They did not fall for the okie doke. So and one thing that like President Biden and all of them have to have a better choice, as well as Kamala Harris. She's doing really good. But if we get more Democrats in office, that free Kamala Harris as the vice president to travel the country more, because what she said with her colleagues, and she said with her staff, she said, I'm tired of just being in Washington to break ties. I want to talk to the American people. So if Warnock win in Georgia, it would be 51 to 49.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it will give Kamala Harris freedom to like travel the country to talk about the plans of the administration, because Kamala did really well. Pretty much she came out and she supported a lot of Democratic candidates, and most of them that she campaigned for won. So she's a good, effective person, especially when it comes to reproductive rights and all of that. But I feel like Democrats, they have to do a better job in Georgia by putting the boots on the ground and investing in Black media and investing in the Black infrastructure so Reverend Warnock can win. Because you see Herschel Walker. He's the most he's ignorant. He's not intelligent. And unfortunately, the Republicans, out of all the African Americans they could have picked to represent their party, they picked a man that paid for abortions, which goes against the Republican Party. They paid a man that put a gun up to a woman's head that to represent. It's so many black Republicans that could have represented Georgia as a senator candidate, but they picked Herschel Walker because they wanted a black that they could control, a black that's not that intelligent, but a black that could just vote yes for our power and what we need. They don't want a free thinker, a black that's going to say, well, you know what, before I vote on this bill, let me read it first. They want a person, hey man, Herschel Walker, we all agree with this bill. You vote for it, go ahead and do it. And they want a black that they can control.
And there was an article written in the Atlantic, I think it was the Atlantic, and the Republican Party said that Herschel Walker was the perfect candidate for them. He's the exact type of black person they said they were looking for. But let me get off of politics because I know people probably tired of hearing that.
Ain't no worry about it. We can talk about it to the end speak because ain't nobody else hit the link. So
okay. So let me go to the next one. Dababy. Okay. Dababy needs to apologize. What Dababy did was he made a comment about gay people, and Elton John was really offended by that. And Elton is a gatekeeper. And so Dababy is somewhat blackballed. So
he's really whiteball because
right.
Folks, white folks is trying to blackball him. And unfortunately, I didn't get offended by what he said. A lot of LGBT people didn't get offended because they still go into his concerts, they still consumed his music. But if a white person get offended that's happened to be gay or in the community, they're going to try to destroy Dababy. And I don't think he won't be destroyed. Right. He's still got a base that's still up. They're trying to discredit him, saying that he's not a good artist, saying that he ain't selling out his shows. And he's still proving that, hey, people are still coming to my shows. And that's one thing I love about Dababy, that he's utilizing his social media to show that people are still interested in what I'm doing. And that's what I believe, that, some white people that were offended, it was mainly that the white gay community was offended at Dababy. It wasn't really the black.
Of course.
It was really them being offended. It wasn't us. We can care less about what Dababy said because I don't give Dababy that power. I don't care what he said. He ain't going to destroy my life.
Right, exactly. I mean, this is a free country we live in.
Absolutely.
And you know what? People are condemning him and talking negative about him because he's going out there giving away tickets. But I think that's okay.
I think all artists give away tickets. They have a comedy show here in Texas that's going to be out here in Texas with B. Simone, with a lot of the comedians, and they gave free tickets to K104. So if they has-beens, if their show's not selling, so every major artists that have shows or artists, period, they give a certain amount of tickets to the artists themselves to give away, and also to the radio show. So let's not act like what he's doing is so uncommon.
Right.
When I had a friend that knew Fantasia then manager, and he gave me the then manager number. He said, text him for some cop tickets, meaning free tickets. So I texted him to give me 2 free tickets. The man responded. At will call, I had 2 free tickets under my name, and it was in the second row. Does that make Fantasia being a has-been because she had her manager give me free tickets? No, all people does it. Like, it is what it is.
I've gotten free tickets too. I got free tickets to Jay-Z, Janet Jackson. So you're right about that. But I just hope it's just something about our people, Wiley. It seems like we're so quick to want to cancel our own. But if you notice, white people don't cancel their own. Look at Kanye and Kyrie. Now, this whole anti-Semitic thing they're talking about, but look at some of the things that Donald Trump have said, Tucker Carlson, who else? Marjorie Taylor Greene, which are anti-Semitic things. But I don't hear the Jewish community trying to cancel them. The only people they want to cancel is a black person. Every time a black person. I think the Jewish community are the biggest bullies that there are. And that's just fact. And we as black people, we have to start calling them out. Otherwise, they're going to continue to cancel our entertainers.
And then also too, I hear that point. I hear that's one of the narratives that people are preaching, but we also have to hold our people accountable, like Kanye West, because he had his money in a white-owned bank. How much money have he invested in the black infrastructure, black businesses, black carpenters, black stuff? So for me, like he went with Adidas, but why didn't you go with a black owned sneaker company and
Right.
make them pop it? So we can't always talk about what white people are not doing or what the Jewish people are not doing. What if our artists are doing with the money to help black people? Because Kanye West didn't even have to go to Adidas. He could
Right.
have done Yeezys with a black owned shoe company. We do have black designers that they have a shoe company. You could have went there to make them hot. And so that's what I'm not understanding with Kanye West and all these artists when they scream and when they're getting canceled, they want African Americans to embrace them, to support them. But what are you doing to support the African American community? Because if you're
Right.
saying that Jewish people is so wrong and they're so this, they're so that, what are you doing with your money, with your black dollars, that green money? What are you doing to help the black infrastructure? Because I guarantee you, if Kanye would have invested in a black sneaker company, that would have helped the black community further than him working with Adidas. Because what Adidas did, and obviously he ain't that smart because they got the designs, they control the designs. I don't know why he would agree to allow them to own his designs. I don't know, unless he didn't design it and he just put his name on it. That's one thing. That means you're not that creative. Because I don't understand how in the world can they control the Yeezy design. What they're telling me is, bro, you didn't even design the shoes. They designed it and you just put your name on it. Yeezy.
No, he did. This is what happened. And when I say support our own, not because I don't agree with Kanye and I don't really support like Kanye the person or Kyrie the person. I support the principle of them canceling our people because they've done other people like that didn't say things like Kyrie and Kanye.
I understand that, but I want to give it quick. Black people didn't cancel these people. Like Minister Farrakhan have been labeled anti-Semite for decades, since the 80s. But anytime he speak, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people come together. Just like Monique, she tried to be canceled, but when she do her comedy shows, it's sold out. So I just want to get the messaging right that we ain't canceling we didn't cancel nobody. I don't even think people really cancel R. Kelly. They still listen to R. Kelly music.
Because I still listen to his music because that's the art.
So what I'm saying is we must tell Kanye West, bruh, bring some, because I'm still wondering where he gonna put that money because Chase Bank don't want to deal with him no more. I wonder if he's gonna put his money in One United Bank, the largest black-owned bank in America. So we must tell Kanye, you can't be preaching and talking about the system, but in reality, when it's time for you to invest in black folks, into the ecosystem, you don't do it. You give it to the white people. So what is it? Is they wrong and you still gonna support them? Then you're part of the problem as well, is what I'm saying. Because if you're not, then bring some of that money to a black-owned bank. Come on the Wiley Show. Invest in the Wiley Show. Invest in that ecosystem. Do an interview on there and invest in our company. So that's what I'm looking at because I'm like, wow. And then I'm not understanding unless he's broke, unless he didn't have it like that. Because he was supposed to he supposed to redo his house, like renovate his house. And they say he had to postpone that because of the money. So do you really have a lot of money in the bank? Or is that just all for sure? It just making me like, what's really going on with Kanye West?
Well, the thing that with Kanye keeps saying that he wants ownership. The problem with Kanye is he says he wants ownership, yet he had ownership because he owned his Yeezy brand. He owned his clothing brand. But what he did was he did a partnership with the Adidas and a Balenciaga, where what he did was he basically sold them a piece of the designs for his shoe. And the reason that he did that because he wanted ownership in Adidas and he wanted some ownership in Balenciaga. So he thought that these people were going to give him some ownership. And then when they told him that they weren't going to do that, that's when he got upset. But he never should have sold any part of his own brand. That just makes no sense.
It really doesn't. And he's talking about he's such a genius. That's a very, very stupid idea. Really, it's really dumb for him to do that because now they're going to take the shoe design and just name it something else. And black folks not going to boycott Adidas. They're still going to buy those shoes, thinking in their mind that we're still supporting Kanye West.
thinking
You
they
know what I'm
still
saying?
Yeezys, right?
And they're supporting it's all going to Adidas. And that's just a part of Kanye for not thinking. He didn't use he said
Right.
he a genius, but that move was definitely wasn't a genius move.
No, it was not.
It was a very dumb move. He could have did what the guy did, one of the LeVar Ball. He called the Big Baller brand. He created his own shoe design.
Right.
Kanye West could have did that. He didn't need to go to Adidas. He did that because he didn't want to put in that extra work. He wanted that white validation. And
Yes.
now the same white folks that you wanted to validate you is the same people that are counseling you. So that's
Right.
his fault. Now
Exactly.
that's not on us. That's on him.
Right. I mean, he thinks he's so smart, but he's so unintelligent. Till it just behooves me. I don't understand this man. Okay, the next thing, your girl Sweetie. Let me get on Sweetie. Okay, now I do agree with you. I think that Sweetie's album is cute. I like it. Now, by no means is she a Cardi B or a Nicki Minaj, but I know you troll it. Okay. But Sweetie, I thought it was really cute. I really did. And there were a lot of people saying a lot of ugly things. They were saying her music was trash. That's not true. It's not trash. It may not come up to your standards of what particular, because it's all subjective to what some people want it to be. But for what she did and who Sweetie is, I thought it was cute. I thought she did a good job. So I think people need to get off of Sweetie's head top or whatever. Because I mean that album is not bad like people are saying it is. And Wiley,
Most
I
people
do
that say
believe
that didn't listen to the project, or they just going on social media about what the majority of social media said. Just like a lot of people were talking about Wakanda, and I'm like, did you watch it? I don't know. I ain't watching the 3 hour movie. I'm like, well, how can you say the movie was trash if you don't watch it? So it is what it is. But go ahead, man.
okay.
I like it.
Okay, so what I was gonna say about Sweetie. Let me say something about Wakanda right quick. I haven't seen it either yet, but the only complaint that I saw people saying about Wakanda was that they said that the women were the dominant people in the movie, and they said the men were portrayed as weak in the movie. And so I saw a lot of women that said that was problematic for them. And you know what? I'm still going to support the movie, but that would be problematic for me because it's a problem for me if you do a movie and you're painting the women as all the strong figures in the movie and then the men are the little weaklings. They said you had these women fighting other men and the men were just so weak and docile. That's a problem for me because we should not be allowing anybody, even if it's our own, to portray our black men like that. So that would be a problem for me
Well,
because
well,
I
for
don't like
me,
that.
well, a lot of African Americans have to understand this is not black owned. These are white
Right,
studios.
exactly.
So if you want to see a movie where black people are dominating, black men are, you have to, invest in that in those products. I'm not shocked at all. I saw the movie. I enjoyed it. It was an entertainment, but I didn't leave there knowing that this is going to uplift African American people. It could inspire us, but we must invest in black writers and black studios and invest in that black infrastructure because again we are going to these white controlled places
Right.
and expecting them to do for us and put us in a positive light. That's not going to work. We have to
No.
invest in our own people to do that. We must invest in the Tyler Perrys and really stand on people or invest in people to say, hey, let me write a movie and make sure we support the dominant black people and dominant black people that's showing that black strength. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because when I watch, it was another movie, and y'all, it was the women. Y'all probably wouldn't like that either. The Women King,
Woman King, yes.
and it was mostly the women fighters. But that's history because there was a lot of women that were fighting
Right.
during that time.
That's based off something that's true.
That's a historical fact. But I think Wakanda Forever, unfortunately, is not us. We don't control it. Those are white company. Marvel is last time I checked, is not black owned. It is
Right.
white.
That's
So we have to invest in our own institution, and then people need to come together and say, "Hey, let me make my own studio. Let me make my own. Let me get my own production company, and let me make sure I fund ideas that show black people as being the protector and showing white black women to being a protective and all of the being, that's what we must do. But we can't keep coming to white people and expecting them to
Right.
show us
To
in the
put
like.
us in a positive light.
Yes, yeah.
Like Shonda Rhimes, you know who Shonda Rhimes is, right?
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
she got yeah.
I emailed Shonda Rhimes and I told her that I have a problem, with her. And the problem that I have with Shonda Rhimes, I told her almost every show of yours that I have watched, you put either the black woman with a white man or a black man with a white woman. You do not highlight and show black love, like there are no black people with each other. That's one problem that I have with Shonda Rhimes, and I did email her to let her know, like, whatever happened to black love, because it's almost like you're painting it like it doesn't exist. Have you noticed that about her?
I'm gonna say this. You said something, so Shonda Rhimes, but who's her employer? Is it black people or white? Who's
She's
her
the
employer?
writer.
I
She's
understand
writer
that, but
and
but
producer.
she don't have the final say so. It's the people that own the studios, that own the network. They have the final say so or the script. They have
But
the final
listen,
say so.
listen,
Just
listen,
because you're
Wiley.
the writer, you don't have the control of everything. If the people in power say change the script, make it with a white person, with a black person, you got to do what your bosses tell you to do. She don't control the company. She just an employee, even though she's the writer, but she don't have the final say so, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
People
so
that are
I'll
white
give
in
you
that company, they have the final say so.
I'll give you that on mainstream TV. But Shonda Rhimes got a major deal with Netflix, and they just gave her a lot of money and told her to produce some shows. And so
Right.
what
But
she
they have the
did,
final say so, whatever she produced, though.
no, they gave she had creative, what is it? Creative, what was it? She had the
I know they said they say that, but I don't highly. They still, you still, as Shonda Rhimes, she's not gonna, in her predicament of working these white places, going to continue to rock the boat to be blackballed. When you get in those writers' room, what Netflix want or what ABC want. You know that. So
Yeah, but Wiley,
you're not.
somebody has to be black love somewhere. Every relationship she does with black people, it cannot be interracial. You just somewhere you have to have a black man with a black woman. I mean, you need to put that somewhere in your shows. Every show
Absolutely,
I watch is woman.
but it was a movie that with Queen Latifah, and it was a movie with Queen Latifah, and I forgot the writer. Just Right is the name of the movie, and it was about black love. It had Queen Latifah, and it is a rapper. I can't think of his name. Hold on one second. And Common. It was about black love. It was a comedy made back in 2010. The movie didn't do well.
Oh, I remember
So
that movie.
so you know, Hollywood works. If it's successful, do more of that. If it's not successful, don't do that again when it comes to black stuff. White people, because they control most of these institutions, they can make a mistake and they don't sell that well, but then they can have another chance. Black shows, black writers, black producers, they don't get that a chance. If it flopped, like if Tyler Perry kept flopping, he would have been dropped from the deals that he had from the distributors. But because he's proved the wrong and black people kept supporting, he kept getting deals. But if he started to flop and stuff started to flop, he will lose those deals. So when I'm saying to Shonda, they keep saying, "Oh, she's so powerful," but she's not as powerful than Netflix. She still got a boss, is what I'm saying. Being so powerful and very powerful is creating your own Netflix, black owned, creating your own network, black owned, and then that's what she ain't that powerful when you still got a boss, because they got the final say so. She's an amazing writer, but she's still getting her check signed by a white boss.
I get that, but still, she can have an interracial relationship. But at some point in her projects, she still needs to show black love as well. And as the network, remember, Oprah had owned, and then what did Oprah do? That was black owned, and what did she do? She sold what, 70% of it,
She
or
showed
50%.
majority. Yeah, she showed the majority of her
Yes.
back to Discovery. Yes, she did.
Yes.
But
See?
when she had her show, she catered towards white people. She had Rosie O'Donnell. She
Mm-hmm.
had another
See?
white person on there. She had Gayle King doing a show in the morning. People didn't watch it, but somebody must have told Oprah, "You gotta get black folks to watch your network. Black people build networks." And she got on the phone with Tyler Perry, and what did Tyler Perry do? He created the haves and the have-nots.
Right.
He created all these black shows to the point OWN started to get more viewership than BET. So what did BET do? They and that own MTV and all of those networks, they gave Tyler Perry a good deal to give it because they saw how successful he was on OWN. And what did Oprah do? I guess she's like, listen, I'm done with the network. I made my money back. I'm going to make some more, and I'm done with it because it made Oprah look bad when she had her network out. People wasn't watching it. It embarrassed Oprah Winfrey because after her show, she had OWN, and people thought, even herself, that she was going to get millions and millions of people because she's Oprah. It didn't happen like that. They trash Oprah in the media, and I guess Oprah was like, okay, now we financially good. Now we're financially we got the money now. I'm gonna just sell it, and I'm done with television. I'm done with owning it. You can still use my name. I get a percentage of that, but I don't want to be an owner of a network because she saw how they turned on her and trashed her. So I guess she said, hey, I'm going to sell this back, and it is what it is. And BET was black owned at one point, but it's not black owned anymore.
But let me tell you something that I learned from Byron Allen. Do you know who Byron Allen is? Wiley. Hello.
Oh,
Okay.
you said
Okay.
Byron Allen. Yes, I know who Byron Allen is. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Now I watched Byron Allen. You remember when he had that case and it went up to the Supreme Court and then they ruled that he could sue the media company? This is what Byron said. Um, and I always remembered this. He said one thing about when you're trying to own a black media company. He said these conglomerates that own these other streaming shows and platforms, he said what they do is like when you got BET, and he used BET as an example. Okay, say we're black people, we want to subscribe to BET. This is what they would do to black people. They would say, okay, you can get BET, but to get BET, you have to purchase this package, the most expensive package that comes with all of these other channels in it. And because they were doing it like that, he said a lot of black people couldn't afford to get that. And he said that's one of the ways that they keep um black people from getting media companies, because they say the way they structure it, they put us in packages that is the most expensive so that our people cannot afford it.
Absolutely, and I agree on that. And I stood by Byron Allen when he sued and he's fighting and all of that because you have to fight because anything to get any black ownership and black people to get into any industry that's dominated by white people, you have to fight to get in that industry
Right.
and keep fighting. You have to be on the battlefield. You have to educate your people. Just like you said that, Byron Allen have to continue to educate. So I'm glad he brought the degree on. I'm glad that he hired April Ryan. I'm glad that he's getting to the media part, but educate us because a lot of black people don't know
Right.
the system. A lot of African American people don't know the system. A lot of African American people don't know when you subscribe to cable, you get a cable package. A lot of your money is going to Fox News. Even if you don't watch it, you
Right.
still get a subscriber fee. That's a part of
Yes.
the cable. That's a part of that. That's a part of that system. So we must be educated about what's going on. And a lot of African Americans need to understand that a lot of these networks, even Revoke, they had to battle and they had to battle to get some support because a lot of these networks, unfortunately, is an outdated system. It's the white, pretty much these older white dudes, and they don't want black people to get in that system because if they are accomplished to become successful, you're talking about getting to becoming a billionaire. You're talking about getting,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, getting billionaire status. Because it's a lot of folks that watch television, so that's why they try to not
Block.
really.
They tried to block Puffy. Yeah.
Yeah, they even tried to block. Right, they definitely did, and they even tried to block Byron Allen, and then he sued them,
Yes.
just like
He did.
just like Monique did with Netflix. People dragged her, but what did she do? She sued them, and the judge said you can continue with your lawsuit because Netflix they tried to stop her
Right.
and said, "Hey, throw this out, Your Honor. The judge said, no, she have a case and the case will continue. And what did Netflix do? They got on the phone with Monique and her people and said, hey, we're going to settle. And we're going to give you a Netflix special. So they settled more than 500,000. So people kept thinking, oh, she got more than she can't talk about it because that's how
she got more than that. I think she got at least a couple of million.
You get a couple of million, and they give you that non-disclosure agreement, so you can't talk about it. But sis got some couple of million, and she got a Netflix special.
Yes.
Because why? She fought for it. They didn't just give it to her. She took them to court, and Netflix was like, okay.
And everybody was against her. Almost everybody was against her. But she still persevered. She kept on.
Absolutely.
Wiley, I got this for another show for you. Before I came on, I was online or whatever, and I saw CNN had something on there where CNN was, did you see this video where CNN was interviewing the ex-CEO of the Grammys?
Wow. Okay. No, I didn't see that. I saw what the CEO was talking. I don't know if that's the ex-CEO, but what did he say?
She said it was a woman. This is what she said. She said the Grammys are rigged. She said I was in the room where Ed Sheeran and she said Ariana Grande were up for Grammys. She said there were people there were record labels in the room and people that they had relationship with, two other artists that said they wanted their artist to get a Grammy. And she said, while I was in the room, she said, I witnessed them put these two people that the record labels wanted to get the Grammy. And she said, when you put two people in, you have to take two people out. She said they did that in the room while I was in there. And she said, they offered me millions of dollars to keep quiet and not say anything. She said, so to the lady that was on CNN asking her, she said, so your question about is the Grammys rigged? She said, most definitely it's rigged. She said, it's all about who you know and record labels and how they get in there and they make deals. Absolutely. So you need to get that video.
And I'm not shocked. This is no information. I'm not really surprised, but African Americans have to realize and say, let's boycott and let's educate our people about what we say, education first, and then it's up to the African American people to be like, I'm gonna say allegedly because we don't know because I'm not in those rooms. I'm gonna say allegedly. Right. Why continue to give your music to a system that's rigged?
Right.
So that to me, I'm looking at y'all like y'all keep giving to us, so don't complain about a system that is rigged. And you keep investing in the system. You keep showing up. You keep telling your fans you're going. Boycott. Don't attend. Don't submit your music. Don't continue to go there. Support institutions that support you and that give you a fair chance. But as long as you keep submitting your music over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, I question you. Like, why you keep giving to a system that don't want you?
But the thing is, though, Wiley, in order for us to boycott, I mean, we would need the artists, the Black artists, to boycott. And they're never going to do that because these people that run that institution are so powerful that they will do these other artists just like they did Nicki Minaj. And you know what? It goes far beyond.
I get that, but if you listen at what Dr. King did, what Reverend Jesse Jackson, what all these civil rights people did, eventually you have to take a stand.
I agree.
If you don't take a stand, if you go back to the Montgomery bus boycott, and white people were so powerful, oh my God, don't do it. Black people got tired, and they worked together and changed the entire system in Montgomery. They literally hired black bus drivers. You literally can sit whatever you can sit. So until black people, black artists especially, wake up,
yes,
then it's not going to change. Until they take a stand and stick together, then it's not going to change. You're going to keep getting the same thing. Because why would they change their system if they know y'all still going to submit your music? Y'all still going to do this. So why should we change?
Right. And all we have to do
create your own system.
And all we have to do is give a couple of you guys a Grammy to make you happy.
Absolutely. And so to the Nickies and to the Diana Ross, she was just nominated for the first time within 40 years, and Diana Ross never won a Grammy.
That's
The
crazy.
Diana Ross. So Snoop Dogg, talented rapper, never won a Grammy. And so if you keep submitting your music and keep doing that, then you're going to keep getting the same results. And so hopefully, but I'm glad that we had this conversation because it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Right. But we need to start sticking together. And look at in the NFL. The NFL, the NBA, those black guys make up 70%.
Absolutely. 70%.
They don't stand together. They could get everything they wanted if they just stood together. But you know what the problem is? They can't miss one check because they buying all these cars and buying all these houses and all this jewelry.
I feel you on that. Hold on 1 second, Talking Face. We have you on. I'm going to add another person on. Kelly. Is this Kelly from Destiny's Child?
I wish it was.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Kelly.
Wiley, how you doing today? Tonight,
Doing wonderful today.
that's great. Wiley, I love your show. You get me through my third shift.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you that.
Shout out to the third shift.
Okay. I got a couple of things that I wanted to kind of touch bases on. And one reason why I love your show so much, Wiley, because you is I guess a bisexual man. You have a lot of my core values that I raised up with. I want you to know that too. For as like how a woman should be, how a woman should conduct herself. My mom and daddy, they raised me the same way. You know what I'm saying? And I've been married 21 years. And I honor, respect, and obey my husband. I believe in it. Second of all, I would like to touch on T.S. Madison. I used to watch T.S. Madison a couple of years ago. And why black women turn on her? Because T.S. Madison, one minute, act like she for black women. Next minute, she's calling us all kind of B's and H's. You know, and she loved to throw up. She for transgender rights, but what are you doing for the community? You're not doing nothing for the community. I never see her on front line when somebody passed away. I never hear her going to any kind of organization for trans rights. I don't ever see her on front line. But you want to be on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram with the BS, like you so much for the trans women rights. You know? And far as about the baby concern, I do feel like he blackballed, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel like that. When that came out at the Rolling Loud, when he said having sex, you know, in the back seat and sucking peen on the back seat, the baby never did say it was the gay community. He just simply said, if you're not doing that, put your lighters up. If you don't have HIV, a lot of people, if you go to concert, they hype the crowd like that. He never said that. But still, he went on to play along with the LGBTQ community, went to the old meetings and sat down, and he promised a donation. That's what a lot of people don't understand. And he refusing to pay the donation because he did the apology. So I feel like they're the one that kind of blackballing him because they want their money. You know? And for the Shanquella thing concerned, I don't never like to tell nobody how to grieve and what the final expenses is because, we don't know what kind of debt she left, for number one. We don't know that. Number two, I'm understanding they hired a private investigator, like their own team of people. That's why Kyrie Irving donated so much money. So I kind of like put the brakes on the GoFundMe because when I see what the family doing behind the scenes, it take money. Like Black Lives Matter, they stole the money. People don't have the money to do the private investigation and to do private things behind the scenes, like, taking care of family bills, setting up a trust fund. That where the money with Black Lives Matter come in there to me. But we know they fraud everybody. So a lot of donations supposed to be, from my understanding, is used for that, because we don't know how long it's going to take the private investigators and attorneys to to make, to make sure these people, well, hopefully the prosecutor pick it up if it get that far to have justice. It take money to get justice served. In the black community, a lot of times we don't have that type of money, you know. But and I got a comment about the woman that just called before. She really long-winded to me. You know, you're long-winded and you keep calling back. Let us get in sometime. But
Well,
that's all I had
Wiley,
to say.
ma'am,
Yeah,
ma'am, can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah. I'm
Okay.
talking about
Well,
you.
you know what? I was gonna get off, but Wiley told me there was no one in the queue, and he told me don't worry about getting off.
Now,
Right.
I ain't talking about tonight. I ain't talking about tonight. I'm talking about the other night. I be on my break. I want to get in sometime. Then you gonna call back
Okay.
again.
Okay.
So
Well,
let
well, you
somebody.
can call back
Let,
too. You
well,
can
well,
call
no, I
back
can't.
too.
No, I can't because I'm earning $1. I don't have time to be like you, long-winded on the phone all night. I got to make a living. But anyway,
Okay.
Wiley, that's what I wanted to say. And Wiley, you have a good night, and you look great. Wiley, your skin is so pretty. What are you doing? Because I don't
just
want to talk to her.
just just water. Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
Wally.
you look great, Wiley. And thank you,
Thank you.
Wiley, for taking my call, as
Thank
always.
you. Thank you so very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. I think a lot of people need to understand Talking Faces talk on the show. We don't have other callers. If we had a full queue, then of course we let Talking Faces be limited, but we don't. I'm glad that she called in. I'm not gonna tell her to stop calling. You Talking Faces, you can call in a billion times because I opened the link up for people to call in. There's no limit to how many says. As long as the show is running, you can call in, we can have a conversation. A lot of people were saying next caller, but they don't call in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That doesn't make any sense. Like I can understand if you were talking and then I wasn't bringing other callers on, but that's not the case. Don't nobody else hit the link. So if you just hit the link, we're gonna prolong. We're just gonna have a whole 1 hour conversation. And then the people that say next caller, I look at them like that don't make sense. You say next caller, but you won't call in. So just
Right.
sit back, hear what Talking Faces and Wiley talk, and have that conversation. And if you, it is what it is, and it's so simple. You just hit a link, you come on, and you talk. And I'm glad that Talking Faces came on and talk and everything. I know you good in my eyes.
And if anybody that wants me off the phone, start calling in, and
Yeah,
then he'll get me off.
right, right. Because
Start
we had
calling in.
we had a great conversation because we talked about black empowerment.
We did.
We talked about the baby. We talked about politics. We talked about a plethora of things, and we kept over 460 some people watch. So thank you.
Absolutely. And Wiley, I want to say something about T.S. Madison.
Okay.
The lady that was on, I do agree with her a little bit because I'm not going to say that TS does not fight for trans because I think that she does advocate for them. I really do. I think she advocates for gay people period. My only problem, because I am a an avid watcher of TS Madison as well. The only thing that I have with TS was when she made this comment. She said it wasn't a trans. She said it was one of your own. And I think that was a little bit better way she could have said that because I have noticed that sometimes trans people they are so critical of non-trans women, and they're always talking about us and saying we don't like them, and that's simply not true. So I mean, I just don't understand where they get that from when they say that we don't like them. Why would we not like you? It doesn't make sense to me to say. And then a lot of trans people, it seemed like they blame um heterosexual women uh, for a lot of things that happen to them when it's not our fault. Because I heard a trans person say before that the reason that black men treat them the way they do is because of us, and I totally disagree with that.
Mm.
Why would that have something to do with us? Why would black men treating you a certain way have anything to do with black women? It makes no sense. Because I look at as the highest form of flattery because you guys are trying to look like us. So, I mean, that's a compliment to us. Why would we be mad at you?
Mhm.
A lot of black women support T.S. Madison.
A lot of, and that's so true. A lot of black women support T.S. Madison, but it's a sector of black women that don't like T.S. But T.S. Madison is very well liked with African American women. When she do her shows, most of it, 90% of it is African American black women.
Right.
Women. So, but I think it's a sector of black women. It's a minority, but they're loud. They're in the comments. And I think what T.S. Madison have to do is stop responding to her critics. She's supposed to be this actress. She's supposed to be on Bros. She's supposed to be this celebrity, but still she has that mentality of a stripper or prostitute. And I'm going to respond to the lowest of the low.
Right.
We have to stop responding to that. The more she responds, the more they echo, the more stronger that minority will become. Now, because at one point I thought she was done getting down with the get down, but she still responds. If you make a tweet, stand on it, don't respond to it. But if you keep responding to people that's getting it wrong, then you are giving them energy to keep getting on your nerves. Because what they're gonna do the next time, they're gonna get back on her nerves.
Right. She keeps giving them light.
Absolutely. I think it's somebody else backstage, so we're gonna bring them on so they can say something. 1 second, talking face. I have you on, Miss Beautiful. You live on air.
Yeah,
Welcome.
it's Queen Tulsa.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Queen Tulsa, I came on your show one time.
Hey, girlfriend.
Hey.
Now listen, I have a question. Do you feel like there's a competition between me and you, or do you think that I don't like you?
No, there's no competition. I'm in the competition with myself.
No, I'm talking to Miss Lady.
No, I don't. Why would it be a competition?
Right.
Well, see, this is the thing. You
Hold on. Are
have
you
some.
back at me? Hold on.
Oh,
Wait a
you
minute.
have some women. You have some women that don't have a problem with trans women, but then you have some women that do.
But I
So
think it's so
it's
small
not
though.
all
Because
women.
right, it's not all, but I think most women support trans women. I
Mm,
think it's a minority, like Wiley said, because I mean, I work in the public and I have friends and I talk to my friends and stuff like that.
mhm.
And I don't see that. I don't see what I, hear people saying about women versus trans women. I mean, I just don't see that. But maybe because it's not in my sphere that's why I don't see it.
Right,
But
it's out there.
and it's just sad because I mean we're all just people and we just need to love each other and support
I
each
think I
other.
think that
That's it.
I think that African Americans, if you ask them a question, do they support gay marriage? It's a huge percent that will say no. Even
Mhm.
even even myself identify as bisexual, don't support gay marriage. African Americans are still conservative when it comes to LGBT rights. And when you're talking about trans right, they're even more conservative. Because if you ask them a question, what if your child wanted to be trans? Listen to the answers. I could do a show on that, and you would be surprised at the response of African American women and also men. But trans are like at the bottom of the list when it comes to African Americans of their thought of what they think about them. They go very aggressive. A lot of women feel like trans women are stealing their man. A lot of women
Oh
I've
my
talked
god.
to say they try to be like us. They're not us. They're not women. Just because you put on a wig don't make you a woman. You have that sector, and a lot of women feel like that trans women are trying to replace them because that's just what's being told out here in the streets.
Yeah, and that's not true.
And it's not true. But a
It's
lot
not.
of women they have that especially black women, that's what they believe in. And if they open up the lines, that's what they would say. And
And
so
then
yeah,
and
go.
then Wiley, look at this situation. And then you have these dudes out here that deal with trans women and they're like, oh, I didn't know, oh, I didn't know. Well, in some cases, that woman or that man can always point a trans out when they are with their mate or something like that, but let them get caught up alone by themselves. Oh, I didn't know. But you have an eye for it. So which one is it? And I feel like these men be playing with the women, playing with their heads.
Absolutely. And then they lie and talk about, I don't know. Most men know a trans woman. That's why they're talking to them in the first place. And soon, I remember it was an episode in that movie, in that show. I forgot the name of it. Pose. And remember one of the characters, she had got her peen removed, and the
Hmm.
white guy didn't want to deal with her anymore because he was like, "You got the same thing that
Yes, I
white
remember that.
guy got at home." And so a lot of men deal with trans women because of that extra equipment, because they got
Well, no, it's because we are beautiful human beings as well. We're just unique in our own
how
ways.
unique, but a lot of brothers deal with trans women because they got the peen as well, and to them they were like, well, I'm not gay because she's a woman, but she got that equipment that I like, and they indulge in it because if you try to remove that piece and try to be with that, you'll lose a lot of clients because they're there for that piece of candy because they feel like if you don't have that piece of candy, I would just come out better just dealing with a biological woman. But most men deal with trans women because they have that piece of equipment. Because if they didn't have the other piece of equipment, they would just keep dealing with women just with the yoni, right? So that's why they deal with a lot of, not all, but that's the case of, because I talked to a lot of brothers and I asked them, why do y'all deal with trans women? Because they look like women on the outside, but they got
But
that.
all trans women don't
All,
have
and I'm
the.
not speaking for all. I'm
No, I'm
speaking
just
for
saying, like
I'm speaking
some.
for I'm speaking for a sector of it because not all. I can't speak for
No,
all.
I wanted
I'm
to
speaking
give
for a
you.
sector.
I wanted to jump in there because you have some women that go, the trans women that go through SRS and they're in relationships, and then you have some people that haven't gotten SRS or don't care to get the SRS.
Right.
I
Right.
was just trying to throw
And,
that
and
out
I
there.
right and I agree with you on there. And I'm just speaking about a sector of men because men talk, and I always ask.
And not all trans women are out here selling their
Not
bodies.
all, and that's another thing. Not all trans women are, and that comes with. That's why trans women. I'm glad Queen Toast is here. That's why you have to use your platform to educate people on trans rights. That's why T.S. Madison must continue to use her platform to educate us on trans. Because number one, I'm a black man, so I'm not trans. But I say to my trans sisters, don't wait until the controversy comes to speak out. Y'all should have the infrastructure and the ability to continue to broadcast trans issues in that fight on your individual platforms on social media, etc. So when the controversy comes, you can just tap in and just go on and continue to doing what you're doing. Don't wait until the controversy happen, and then that's when everybody want to speak out because we need more trans women in media. We need more
Absolutely.
trans women in Hollywood. We need more of those, more trans directors, more trans writers, because
Mhm.
nobody can tell y'all story than trans.
Right.
Nobody
Right.
can, like
Well,
nobody.
I'll actually be speaking at the Trans Day of Remembrance actually tomorrow in my hometown.
Oh
This will
wow.
be my second speaking engagement. I had an engagement this morning. So I do things I have my channel and stuff, but I do things in my community. So I'm hands on.
Yes.
Well,
So you have Deborah in the chat. She says something that I think that echoes a lot of African Americans that feel this way. Stop forcing it down people's throat. You're a trans woman, Queen Tosa. What's your response when people say stop forcing it down people's throats? What's your response to that?
You need to go to Zeus and tell them to stop forcing what our sisters are doing to each other. So if you're gonna complain about the whole our whole system.
Okay.
Don't just be selective on certain things.
All right. Talking faces, you are a woman. You have been a woman your entire life.
hmm
Do you feel that the trans community forced their ideas down people's throats?
I don't think that they force their ideas down other people's throat when they speak. I think what they're just basically doing is trying to be seen, and they want to be treated fairly, and they want to make people aware as to how they want to be addressed.
Hmm.
And so that's how I see it. Now I do feel like this. I kind of, and I want the lady in the comment to tell me, is this what she's actually saying? Because I've had conversations with people as well, and there are some people that have a problem with identifying a trans person the way that person wants to be identified. And they feel like that they're being forced to identify you the way that you want to be identified, which is crazy because I mean, I look at it like this. Just like you say, okay, there's trans sex workers. Well, there are women that are sex workers as well. I mean, so
Mhm.
it goes like both ways. And if you have a problem with addressing a person by a particular pronoun, then I would say to those people, then ask the individual their name and just use their name. I think some of the things that people get caught up in are so kind of like petty and just small. And so rather than focusing on that, just focus on respecting the person,
Mhm.
Yeah.
acknowledging a person.
And I think also a lot of people will never, and this is what I have to learn as being part of the LGBT community, they would never open you with open arms. That just will never happen for certain people. Just like it was a comment that said, "I'm not going to call a man that transitions to a woman a woman." To that person, you probably would never change the idea. That just goes with racism. Certain people
Right.
just be racism just to be racist.
Exactly.
Be racist. You ain't gonna be able to change that.
You
And
know, I just look over people like that because I don't even, when they start being like that, I'm like, okay, it's not me. It's something that they are
Within
dealing
you.
with
something with
within
them, right?
themselves, you
Absolutely. So
know,
you
and I
ain't gonna
just
be able to
get
change
right
that.
on along. And
Absolutely. And that's what you have. That's what you have to do. But I think that these conversations, having a trans woman here, having a woman, a biological woman here to have these conversations is needed. And we need more of these conversations. Because I remember recently I had a couple of months ago when a trans woman was killed. And I brought a trans person on the show that worked with About and Prosperity. I said, we need to talk, but I just don't want to talk to a trans woman when it's just deaf. I
yeah,
want to talk to a period because
Right.
it's a lot of trans successful women that are out there. And I've realized we need to promote more of that. And I think that will happen if, my platform as well as Queen Tulsa platform as well as TS Madison platform is power. So we need to broadcast the voice because I don't just want to just talk about trans women when they pass away. I also want to bring awareness to trans women that's out here doing it and owning companies and running companies and having successful families. And those trans women they got
yes,
trans sisters out here got master's degree, PhD. So we must
yeah,
bring awareness to that as well.
And you know
absolutely.
what? I want to
Thank
say
you for
too.
providing the space.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I want to say this too. When people that maybe think like trans people and other people are forcing something down your throat for those people, I just want you to think about it like this. Black people were discriminated and are still being discriminated against. And we want to be treated fairly and we want to be inclusive. So that's all they're really saying that they want. They want us to be inclusive with them and they wanted to be treated fairly and treated equally like we are. That's all they're asking. And
Absolutely.
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth. Thank you so very much. Anybody else is welcome to come on the floor. Thank you so very much, Quintos, for coming on. Thank you. That was a great
Yes.
conversation. Definitely needed. Thank you so very much
Bye,
uh,
Queen.
for,
All
for
right, are y'all ending the show?
for coming on. I'm gonna do my closing remarks. Something else you wanted to say about this topic?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, to the young lady that's here, it's your name slipped my mind, but I want to thank you for showing up. And sometimes, I just be in a zone and I don't have those words to give. But I thank you for definitely explaining it, breaking it down, and loving me. And I love you. And let's support each other. This is not a competition, it's a coalition. And
Right.
so we're going to have more conversations about this. Thank you for having me.
Thank you
I
so
love
very
you too,
much.
Queen Tulsa.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
All right. Talking Faces, did you want to say something before I
That's
get my closing?
it. I really enjoyed speaking with you tonight,
Thank
and
you.
Queen Tulsa and the other lady was there. And forgive me, people in the comments, if you feel like I dominated the conversation tonight, but again, you didn't call in. And I just really like Wiley's shows. And tonight, Wiley was on one tonight. Wiley, you had the topics tonight, baby. You got into pop. I was just loving it tonight.
Yes.
And one last thing I'm gonna say, Wiley, I do believe that Sweetie would be a submissive woman.
Okay.
I do. I see that in Sweetie. Anyway, you have a good night, Wiley, and thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. All right. That was really great getting people to call in and to hit the link. And I want to tell y'all, when people say next caller, you have to hit the link. This is the direction of the show, StreamYard, and also this site we pay for, because it doesn't make any sense, because rarely we get a lot of callers on Blog Talk Radio like that. Sometimes we get 5, sometimes we get 10, and we pay almost $50 a month for Blog Talk Radio. And then our account, we pay, I think, StreamYard $25 a month. So it just doesn't make any sense paying Blog Talk almost $50 a month for like 4 to 5 callers when I can just have you on StreamYard and just pay $25 a month. You know what I'm saying? So with StreamYard, you don't have to show yourself on cameras, because when you hit the link, I'm gonna keep saying it, we put a picture up of my logo, and you come on, you don't see yourself. So you can always do that, because I know some people don't want to have their face shown on camera. But if you do want to have your face shown on camera, get your ring light or come on camera and have that conversation. But I will tell you, my show is not based on a call-in show. My show is based on the Wiley Show. My opinion. You hear for what Wiley have to say. It's a plus. It's icing on the cake, or extra icing, is when we get callers to call in. But I appreciate Talking Faces. I appreciate Queen Tulsa. I appreciate the other sister that called in that hit the link, because that's great for the show. I'm not going to stop having Talking Faces come on, because not only is she intelligent, she keeps the conversation flowing. She keeps it going. She have an opinion, and that's what the show is about. So if you are tired of having one person give their opinion, then you be that next person. And then you, sis, be that next person. And then you be the next person to call in and have dialogue and conversation. This show lasted 2 hours and 22 minutes. And it was great that, we had people to call in, because it extended the show to 2 hours and 22 minutes. And we did not have anybody to call in, the show would have been like an hour, right? So for the people that love lengthy shows, y'all have to help me out by offering your opinion. Most of y'all go to Storm, y'all hit the link, no complaints, because they never do Blog Talk. Y'all go to Conscious, y'all hit the link. Y'all come over there because he don't have a phone line. So y'all hit the link over there. So don't come over here and get bougie talking about Blog Talk when you hit the link over there. So if you hit the link over there, it's the same StreamYard over here. So, okay? I was just being real. Does that make sense? I know it make a whole lot of sense. But if I feel like if you hit the link on Storm, why you can't hit the link on the Wiley Show? I'm just make that make sense. Make that make sense. That's the make that make sense. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get started. You be over there. Yeah, Stormy, this happened over here. You over there just driving your mouth. Then you get over here and you get bougie. That don't make no sense. Okay. And Stream, thank you, Deborah. Stream, y'all got a better audio quality anyway, right? So don't go over there with the good audio quality and then you want to go to another. Oh, no, that's you. And nobody's going to beg you, because I could put on the show by myself. But I thank you to the new people in this is what direction we're going. We're doing StreamYard, okay? And y'all gonna get unspoiled. I spoiled y'all. Y'all gonna get unspoiled, because eventually a flood of people will start hitting once y'all get comfortable, okay? All right. So that's going to happen. So thank you all so very much for Talking Faces. And Talking Faces, every time I go live, you hit that link, you call in. So because we had a great conversation. It ain't like Talking Faces didn't have nothing to say. She had great things to say, and I honor that. And I'm glad that she was able to give her thoughts about the subject that we talked about. even the subject that we talked about with Queen Tulsa, she called in at the tail end of the show. We was able to have dialogue and talk. And I think that if Queen Tulsa is she out there listening, you have to continue to use your platform and to show people what trans people are doing. And one good idea I think that Queen Tulsa should do for a show is broadcast and interview trans educators, trans people in business, trans people in tech. Broadcast the positive stories of trans people, because you are a trans woman, so you pick up that baton and you fight for your community. Don't wait until the Wiley Show fight for your community. You fight for your community, right? Thank you so very much for that 1999. Thank you so very much for that. You know, you fight for your community. You broadcast the women that are out here doing the work. Broadcast that. So that's a good niche. I believe that'll be for a platform, because it ain't too many platforms that are broadcasting the goodness of trans women, that are broadcasting what the positive things that trans women are doing, right? Just like me, I'm a black man. I'm black. So most of what I'm talking about is in the lens of black man experience. I'm not a woman. So I can't give you the experience of what women go through better than a woman. A woman must come through that, right? All right. So yeah, so I got a question, Pay Wiley. Is there a reason we can't send a link through the text number anymore? They're not allowing that. So we just put on there, the Wiley Show is live here to the YouTube page. That's what we put. And so most of y'all intelligent to know to type in the Wiley Show. Most of y'all are subscribed. So just come to the channel. So we can't send a link anymore because so many people were sending links and they stopped it. So I don't know if I have to pay extra, and I'm not doing that, because I could just say the Wiley Show is live. You just type in the show and come on the show. And most of y'all should be subscribed anyway, right? But we had good numbers today. Over 60 to 70 people were waiting. It's not that people are not watching the Wiley Show. It's just that I have to give them stuff for them to watch, because y'all tuned in today. Y'all like the TS Man, and I learned something today. It's not the fact that y'all not watching the Wiley Show. Y'all want to watch who y'all like on the Wiley Show. Because like today, y'all tuned in today, and most of y'all tuned in because y'all thought I was going to drag T.S. Madison. And I agree with you, but if you saw it on my Instagram, you knew I wasn't going to drag her. Because she ain't saying nothing wrong. It was another black woman that her black friends that took her out. It was one of her own. All right? So but y'all tune in today. Every time I ain't gonna be dragging T.S. Man, because she didn't deserve to be dragged. Because what she said was right. It was one of Shanquella's own that took her out. One of her own. Her own people, her own so-called friends took her out. And it's so unfortunate. And I believe those people, Khalil, the other girl, the other people, all of them need to be in a Mexican prison. Her own people. Her own people, whether her gay best friend, straight, her own people, her own so-called friends took her out. I don't care if the person was gay, straight, bisexual, trans. It was her own people that she thought was her friends that took her out. And they definitely need to be in a Mexican prison for the rest of their life. They're not even going to last in life in prison in Mexico, because it's already a language barrier. The system is different. They don't give you all them good meals that you used to eat, because the American prison compared to some of these other prisons is hell. So I know for a fact the Mexican prison is not that good. So you got the Mexican prosecutors involved. And so they definitely are going to come out with it and have that conversation. Somebody says, speak on black men. We'll get you a show and speak on black men. We always speak on black men. I speak on black men. And I speak on black women. This is the Wiley Show. If you want a channel that just speak about black men, create you one and talk about black men. But I talk about black men, black women. I just talk. But if you want a show just talking about black men, create one. That's why I don't do friends. I've hold a conversation, but I'm not going anywhere unless my blood sisters come in. You got to be careful with your blood sisters. You got to be careful. It's just really sad all over. It's just sad, that happened. Really, really sad. Okay. Also, you defended T.S. Madison said it was her own. It was her own. I'm talking about her own, meaning her community, her friends, her own people. It was her own people. Those are her people. So it is what it is. And if you didn't like what I said, Prada me, you could have called in. You could have called in and tell me why I should speak up. Let me drop her a link. Give me a second. Let me drop her a link. For she could share what she want to say. Let me drop her a link. All right. Hold on. Did she want to say something? That's what I'm saying. Hit the link so we can have dialogue because you have something to say. Okay. Now she's upset with women because the women turn against her. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It made y'all call in. I mean, it made y'all tune in today. Now, only get your laptop. You can hit it on the phone as well. Because one thing about streaming, you can come on the phone as well. I'm here. I ain't got to be at work right now. I'm off. Well, I'm not off today, but I'm here. Yes. She ain't going to hit the link. But I thank for y'all for hitting the link. That was great. For those people that did hit the link. And shout out to T.S. Madison. You know, T.S. Madison is not perfect. Her movie flopped. Bros, it flopped. But T.S. Madison, you have to understand, are you going to be a celebrity and be unbothered like Beyonce? Or are you going to be a celebrity part-time, but then you want to go back to dragging folks on the internet? Because I thought you was above this. You got checks to sign. If you got checks to sign, you unbothered, and you are nominated for a Grammy, and you're supposed to be a Grammy nominated person, why are you still acting like the stripper or the prostitute on the corner? So only prostitutes on the corner respond to low vibrations, rumors, and stuff on there. If you're above all that, if you deliver from all that, then give that energy, being above it. But the more and more you keep responding, the more those people are going to say what they're going to say. Because why? You're going to respond to them. That's how the internet works. It is what it is. Once you stop responding, they move on. Like Beyonce, a lot of stuff don't stick on Beyonce because why? She don't respond to it. That's what I'm saying. So if you are on a Beyonce record, like you on a Beyonce record, you should be unbothered by what people say on Twitter or Instagram, on all those other sites. You should be unbothered. Because if I was on a movie and if I'm got a deal with was not Zeus, but a deal with Foxo and all of these deals, and I'm so gosh, I wouldn't be worried about what they say on the internet. I don't respond to everything I see on the internet. I do YouTube because I'm a commentator, but every little comment, I'm not doing a show on every little comment that I see. It got to be big stuff like these topics. But if I do respond, it's for a coin. I'm gonna respond on YouTube. I really respond to people negatively on Instagram or going live on somebody because I don't get paid to do that on Instagram. I may do it a couple of times on Station Head. That's gonna change because that's gonna transition to like members only, and all of that. So I want to say it's 483 people here. Make sure y'all click the like button. Thank y'all for coming through today. I don't even want to get off, but I gotta get off because I've been on here for almost 3 hours. I'm finishing up the book. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna talk about it tomorrow Monday. For members only. I'm gonna put the time in there, and for Patreon, whether it was 7 or 8 or 9 p.m. We're gonna talk. So I'm gonna put the times and members only after this broadcast. Whichever ones get the most votes, that's the vote that we're gonna go on. Chess was trying to make things clear, but I get you. I understand, but you know what I'm trying to say. I know she's trying to clear up what she's saying. I get that, but when you keep responding to it, you're not making it clear. You're just making more noise. To make it clear is by not responding, and they will move on to something else. T.S. Madison made it bigger by responding. She should have had her tweet. And then if she wouldn't respond, we would have moved on to something else. But your response is making people talk about it more, is what I'm saying. I remember, and I use this example, and this should be a college course, but when Beyonce and Solange and Jay-Z was in the elevator, and Solange hit Jay-Z in the elevator, was hitting him, it was so much noise. Beyonce didn't say nothing about it publicly doing interviews. Solange didn't do any interviews. Jay-Z didn't do interviews. What did they do? They wait till it died down and they put it in music. So it made people rush to buy their music. That's what I'm talking about. So you got to know what to respond to, what not to respond to. Just like now, I talked about T.S. Madison, but T.S. Madison could be petty and talk about Wiley on her show. Who's going to gain from that? The Wiley Show. Who won? The internet won. Because they got T.S. Madison to respond. Fed that energy, and they're going to comment more and say more, because you still ain't going to change the mind with some women. Some women are going to always think that you are a man. You ain't going to never change the idea, no matter how much makeup you put on, no matter how much weave you put in your head, no matter how much breast implants you get, and no matter how many nose jobs you get. It is some group of black women that won't receive you as a woman. It is what it is. And that's just the truth. Okay, how much makeup you put on? Some women that will still think that's you as a man. All right, Prada, you live on here. How you doing?
Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
That was the mess you was talking?
What mess? I said if you have any stuff to say, you can hit the link. I think you said.
Yeah, I hit the link. So what's up?
You said not talking about black men, and I'm like, excuse me. I talk about men. I talk about women.
Trying to jump on black women.
Leave
us alone. Leave us alone. Black women in general, we do not sit around and have conversations about trans people, okay? But we're always in y'all's mouths. Why? Well,
number one, I'm not trans. Number two,
but you're defending your brother, T.S. Madison.
Well, that's our sister. That's a woman.
Brother.
Let's be respectful on the
brother.
platform. Let's be respectful. You may feel that way, but on this platform, we won't misgender people. That's number one. Number two, I'm gonna always defend people who I want to defend. It's my show. Just like Armand, he defends Cardi. Do you criticize him defending Cardi when he had called OG a monkey? Did you get in your feelings and call and hit the link when Storm Monroe called Tasha K dirty feet and dusty rusty knees? Did you come and defend that? So on this show, we must have respect. About any of those people we must have respect, and the list goes on and on and on that I can name. And we're not going to misgender, because number one, T.S. Madison is a woman. We must respect that, because I would want people to respect you. So that's
what we were talking about in the comments. Why do we have to call a man a woman? That is, you're playing on my top.
Because they transition into a woman, and that's the life that they live in.
Well, like I said, I'm transitioning into Jeff Bezos. So when I wake up in the morning, I need to see multiple billions in my bank accounts. Okay, because I'm Jeff Bezos.
Well, that's an idea. If you believe that,
that's the truth. I transitioned into Jeff Bezos a few hours ago. If that's
what you want to be, then be that. But if you want people to respect you and call you Jeff Bezos, shouldn't you have that same courtesy towards T.S. Madison?
When y'all deposit the billions of dollars into my accounts, then I will call Mr. T.S. Madison her.
That's it. So what I'm saying is, I don't think that you will go on the street and be disrespectful to a trans woman, correct?
Oh, you think so?
You will do that?
That's what you think?
No, I say I hope that you will not do that, being disrespectful to a trans woman on the street.
So what about our feelings? What about women's feelings?
I think that
you don't think that's disrespectful to us, that men are walking around calling themselves women?
No, I don't think that's disrespectful, because if I feel like if you've been born in the wrong body and you want to transition from a man to a woman. The same thing like me is trans men. Like I'm not a trans man, but it's women that transition to men. It don't take nothing from my manhood because they want to identify as a man. I may not agree with it, but I'm still
Men
gonna say, how
aren't
you doing?
under attack.
How you doing,
It's
brother? What's
women
up,
who are
bro?
under attack.
How you doing, bro? And I will always respect that. I will never be disrespectful. And if like a trans woman, I may not agree, but I'm still gonna call you sis. I'm still gonna call you Miss such and such such. I'm not gonna call you Mister when you identify as her or she, and I'm just gonna be respectful because I think that's the mature way of doing things.
Okay, so I'm a tree and I don't feel like I should have to pay bills. How about that?
But if you don't pay your bill, what will happen?
If they don't get surgery, what will happen?
I'm just actually,
Me too. I'm just asking too.
and it's some trans women that do get the surgery, so they're not women.
No, you
Because it's
cannot
some,
replicate
so it's some women, trans women that get the surgery, that get a womb and all of that, and we must. What I'm saying, I may not change your mind because you necessarily don't agree, and I can't force you
because it
to
doesn't make
agree.
sense. A
But
man
what
cannot
I'm
become a
saying is
woman.
that
A woman cannot become a
we
man.
must be respectful to people that we don't agree with. Can you agree to that? We have to be respectful because I don't want people to be disrespectful to you or to your to what lifestyle or how you live it. Still be respectful. We may not agree about what you're doing, but still respect me. And I think that is what we should do with TS Masso for anybody is to be respectful.
So where does that leave actual women?
Women, y'all still solidify. Women, y'all not going anywhere. And I think with T.S. Madison, she said, I'm a trans woman. I know I was not born a biological woman, but still respect me for who I am. And I think that a lot of people feel like trans women are trying to replace women. No, women are still, my mother is still a woman. She have not been replaced in my life. My sister is still a woman.
Well,
My
that's
niece,
even silly
my
to
niece
think
is
because
a
a
woman.
man can never replace a
No,
woman.
but why? But to some to certain
Surgeons
women,
try to recreate
certain
vaginas.
women,
That's not possible. You
certain,
can't recreate a vagina.
certain women I talk to feel like they're being replaced, and I say you can never be replaced. I'm speaking for that people that I talk to. They feel like they're being replaced, and I'm just responding to a comment that people say, "Oh, I'm being now they're trying to replace me," and I'm like, you can never be replaced because women will always be here. They are the creators of Earth, so they're not going anywhere.
Right.
It's just a preference. I think that trans women want people to respect them, not being disrespectful. Because I think if you start calling a trans woman a man, that's disrespectful. Especially
How? And it's
because if they identify as because like if they identify as a woman, just respect that. And if you can't respect that, then don't bother. But I don't think you should go out your way just to being disrespectful. I don't think that's not cool. I just think that's not cool. You can do what you want to do. I just think like that's cool because I think if you have a child that's bullying somebody, that child will get suspended, right? If they going out here being disrespectful, calling them a man, harassing them, saying it over and over, they will get suspended for that behavior. So we must behave well when it comes to all community. That goes both ways. It goes to the trans when it comes to women, biological women, and that goes for biological women being respectful to trans women.
Sabby Bean said that they're doing uterus transplants now, or at least attempting to. But the crazy part is it's only a one-time use. But y'all are sitting up here talking about trans people are women. No, that doesn't make any sense. And it's not being disrespectful when we state facts. That is a fact. You cannot just be born a man and become a woman, no matter how many surgeries you get. At that point, it becomes okay. So, do men only think women are breast implants, BBLs, makeup, and wigs? What makes them a woman? Do you have the answer?
Well, for me, what makes them a woman is a good character.
Wiley.
A woman that take care of their family, a good person in their community, and also a good lover at home, being submissive towards their husband, and be, all of that. But that's just my definition. But to other person, their definition may be different. So I'm just giving my idea. I can't change your idea because you believe that trans women are not women, and that's what you believe. And that's your right to believe that. But I believe that trans women have a right to identify as a woman if that's what they believe.
And I believe actual women have a right to defend actual women.
Absolutely.
Why are trans people wanting to use women's bathrooms?
Well,
I
I
don't
don't.
understand that.
Well, for me, when it comes to the bathroom thing, especially when it comes to children and teenagers, I necessarily do not believe that they should use uh, a restroom like that because I don't think they have enough understanding of what they want to be as a child. Because I think you really don't know who you are until you become 30, and some people still don't know who they are when they become 30 years old. So I agree with you on the bathroom issue, but I still don't believe that we should discriminate against anybody or be disrespectful to anybody. This conversation is not a new conversation. I think people have been talking. We talking about more of it now, but we have always have conversations of people that's different than us about what we don't like or what we're not going to respect. But I think in this situation, I think that trans women and women should have a seat at the table and have a conversation. I think it's old that y'all have some type of resolution about what y'all how can y'all correlate in this world.
Right. So Diana said, is it who they want to be or is it who they are?
I think it's who they are.
Sounds like it's who they want to be. See, because as a woman, I didn't have to go to the plastic surgeon to get breast implants. I didn't have to go get a BBL. I didn't have to go get facial reconstruction so that I could have more feminine looking features. I didn't have to do all that because I was born a woman.
All right. And so, yeah, but to a trans woman, they did what they did. And there's some trans women don't even do all of that and still don't even have the breast implants and all of that because they don't have the money to get it, but they still identify as a woman. So that's just their opinion. And I can't change your idea about what you believe a woman is. I can't change it. But I'm glad you hit the link to call in to give your thoughts.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Do you have something else you want to discuss?
No, I think that this is something that we just agree on. So we just
Yes.
have to agree to disagree.
Okay. Well, I love you so much, Marquise.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Again, this has been your associate producer. I'll see you in the chat.
Okay, bye bye. All right. Yeah, we just have to agree to disagree. Wow, we've been on here for 3 hours. Oh man, I'm not changing y'all, man. I just think y'all some hitting the link and have a conversation. Um, Somebody said Queen T said, "Can you give?" I'm not trans, so no, I cannot give birth. I'm not a woman. I'm a man. I can't give birth. But it's some women out there that can't give birth either. Does that take away from their womanhood? It's a good question. Good question. It seems that there are no issues with women but identify as a man, but more men who identify as women. Am I wrong? That's true. Because like we don't have that issue with trans men. I don't talk to the brother be like, oh, y'all trying to take our manhood. It's a lot of trans men. We don't have it's with the women that have the issue. I'm a man. I'm not sure. I am a man. I am a man. But we don't have issues with trans men. Gender is a social construct. Gender is not biological. Right. We're talking about the social construct. And so we don't have the issue with men. We don't. Now, one man I had an issue with that's using the term trans man. We rarely talk about that. It is women that have the information, that have the problem with trans women. But trans men, man, we don't care nothing about that in a negative light. We don't. We don't put them, oh my God, y'all trying to replace us. Y'all trying to replace us. We don't say that. We just let them be them. So We don't like. It's a brother in the chat. Like we don't have no issue. It's, thank y'all so very much. Let me go because we've been on here for 3 hours. I appreciate that though. Says man can get the uterus transfer to that part of the goal. I don't know anything about that, but man, we don't care anything about the trend like in a negative, like, bro, what up, what up, what up. I never got into conversations with brothers talking about they try. We don't have that conversation. I've never had that conversation. Okay, because I'm a man. All right. Like y'all, I've been a man all my life. Appreciate it. Make sure y'all support the show. Follow me on Station Head. Members only. We got a members only that we're doing tomorrow. Make sure y'all follow us over there. We go live on Station Head. We do pre-shows. Eventually, the pre-show will be on members only. But right now it's on Station Head where we do our pre-show. Make sure y'all go and follow us over there. We may do an after show. Yeah, we will do an after show. So make sure you download Station Head. We're going to do an after show over there. Hold on. Let me know if y'all can hear this music because we got like 2 more weeks with Station Head. I mean, 2 more weeks with Blog Talk before we cancel it completely. So let me see if y'all can hear this. Let me know. Y'all hear that? All right. So yeah, I thought I hold on. I thought I fixed it. No, I didn't fix it. All right. Thank y'all so very much. Make sure y'all subscribe. Shout out to y'all. Tomorrow we're gonna do the unboxing. So I'm gonna check my PO box tomorrow. But if you still want to send stuff to the PO box, you can send stuff to 0701122 Dallas, Texas 75370. All of that information is in the description box. You can definitely do it. If you want to contribute to the show, $ Marquise Wiley 28. We're trying to go to Chicago again. I'm going for Thanksgiving, but I want to go back to the city and cover the race for mayor. So we're gonna put a GoFundMe out so people can contribute to it. But if you already want to give $5, 10, 15, or whatever, you can contribute it to the Cash App. A lot of y'all gave for the birthday, so that's going to be a part of that pot. So we need bare minimum like 4,000 because we want to get a cameraman. So we want to, and then we have the rental car expenses to travel around the city and to interview people and do a lot of stuff that we want to do for the entertainment. So if you want to contribute, this is not a requirement. If you don't have it, I understand. But for people that do have it, we really want to go to the city and cover that race for mayor and talk to the residents in Chicago. So if you're available to contribute to the show, that would be a great help. So thank y'all so very much. I greatly appreciate the love that you all have been giving this show, watching this show. Thank you all so very much. This was definitely great. Yeah, I agree. Somebody said not all women have a problem with trans women because I don't. I respect people no matter who they are, and I would never go off of my way to disrespect someone to make them feel bad or unwanted. I agree with that. Now, on that note, we will see y'all in the next episode. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in to the Wiley Show. Peace. Hey, hey, hey.